Good afternoon. It is 3:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Happy draft week to all that celebrate. The Tennessee Titans are scheduled to have a pre-draft press conference tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Central Time. Mike Bergonzi, Brian Callahan, Chad Brinker will all speak. You can catch it right here on The Zone at the start of Cover 2. In Tennessee football news, the Vols and former App State and UCLA quarterback Joey Aguilar are expected to meet later today about potentially joining the Vols, according to Chris Lowe of ESPN. Aguilar, who transferred to UCLA in the winter, entered the portal today after UCLA got a commitment from former Vols quarterback Nico Iamaleava. Aguilar has 1 year of eligibility left and threw for 6,760 yards and 56 touchdowns in 2 seasons as a starter at App State. Tulane and Wake Forest are also in the mix for Aguilar. In Lady Vols news, Kim Caldwell and the Lady Vols got a big transfer portal addition today, adding the 2024 Big Ten Sixth Player of the Year, Janiah Barker, out of UCLA. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Bringing news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. You did it. It's here. It is NFL Draft Week, and we've got you covered all over 104.5 The Zone. It's certainly on 3HL. Brent Doherty with you on a beautifully cloudy day in the Music City. I know there's a severe weather potential window south of us, but so if you're south, 65 south, head on a swivel.
Man, them storms always windowing.
Weather and storm.
They window watching. Storms shouldn't window watch.
Slade Dog is here.
I'm in the building. It's draft week.
Let's go. Ha ha.
I think we need to take another temperature with the listener crew. The 3HL family.
To see how hype we are?
No.
Oh.
It is draft week. Would you take Cam Ward or trade back? I think we need to revisit this now that it is draft week and it is upon us. What would you do?
And I feel a little different, Yorl. I'm going to be all the way honest with you.
Okay. Cam Ward or team trade back? 615-737-1045. You can watch us on live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Babsy.
What up, Babsy?
I think we all know where I stand.
I mean, you have not wavered.
Oh, this week. What a great week. Isn't this a great week? It's rainy.
Week.
It's gross. Doesn't matter. Titans on the board. Titans on the clock. Let's go.
Titans are on the clock, as are we. 3HL powered by Ferguson Home. Discover the Mount Juliet showroom at 401 South Mount Juliet Road, which is in Providence Marketplace. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. FergusonHome.com.
Hello, Ferguson Home.
There's a lot going on. Draft week, Vols get a high-profile basketball recruit. A.J. Brown's car was stolen. Bleacher Report has 4 potential
I love how
trades.
You just throw that in there like, oh, by the way, AJ's car was stolen.
Yeah, he went to social media. It was pretty funny. And it is officially official. Nico Iamaleava has a new team, UCLA. If you listened to Chris Lowe last week, he told you.
You already would have known that.
One school, and that was the school. Meanwhile, UCLA quarterback Joey Aguilar has jumped back into the portal, and there's some rumblings
Poor
that
guy.
there is some interest between both sides.
Life comes at you fast, man. Now, let me ask you this. Does he go ahead and already get the $1 million that they were going to pay him?
So I think how that works, like Nico's deal was through the end of the 2025 season, unless you find another team. And then I think it washes. But, yeah, there are
so
all
as
kinds
of right now, Joey could probably just, like, hang out and make $1 million.
That's why I thought Slade's idea was like, hey, man, just sit out. Like, it wasn't a bad idea.
Be cool.
Yeah, but if he can go
now
catch on with a team like Tennessee or somebody that, might up his profile a bit, why not?
What I'm hearing is that Nico lost considerable amount of money in this transaction, that he's going to get $1 to $1.5 million from UCLA. $1 to $1.5 million.
That's a shame, man.
And
Life comes at you fast.
Ain't that a shame? He got
Decisions
And
we
is that
make.
not even including the difference in taxes?
Correct.
Ugh.
If you do
Great
the
point,
math,
Babs.
That's
it'll
even more
probably be
gross.
about between 800 and 900,000
It has a big difference, man.
compared to the 2.4 million he was set to make at Tennessee.
That's a significant
A
difference.
little bit of a
with
difference.
no
Big drop.
income tax in the state.
Hey, agent and dad, great
Yeah, thanks.
decision making
Thanks
there.
a lot.
Hey, but maybe the offense will be better for
I
him.
read multiple stories that said he doesn't have an agent, that he just has like these family confidants.
I think a lot of these players,
That's
a lot of players do.
always a problem.
Yeah, I think a lot of them do. No, I don't think nobody is actually certified outside of getting the guys that are like Clutch Sports and people like that.
This
working behind
situation
the
aside,
scenes.
maybe that makes sense. Like to get an attorney, right? That helps you. But
Yeah.
I mean, family, friends.
I mean, that's like, honestly, that's like back in the day with basketball before, the Will Wade, before all of that happened. A lot of that was,
Yep.
family friend
Yep.
doing deals under
With
the
shoe
table.
and it was more
right?
shoe contracts on
Yeah.
the surface more so than now you got all these brands and like deodorant, Gatorade, all kind of stuff.
Yes. Chris Lowe, senior college sports writer for ESPN.com, will join us at 5 o'clock to talk about this, and he will likely give you the same detail that I just did. Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports had an interesting piece. He typically does, but this one really caught my eye for us to talk about, and so then we started thinking, well, if we're going to talk about it, might as well bring him in. So Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports will be here at 4 o'clock. He'll be in studio.
In studio.
But he went through the top 30 visits, and 28 of the 30 are basically public information right now. But he went through like draft prospect rankings
yeah.
and identified kind of a common thread that may indicate what the Titans' part of their draft philosophy might be in this draft coming up this week.
I like it.
I'm
And-
interested in
Although
that.
I will say, I know it's a new regime, but I will say regimes in the past, the top 30 visits told you absolutely nothing.
There are
Right.
so many players that are ranked in that third round-ish grade. That's the interesting part of this. You're right. There have been classes where no top 30 visits ended up on the draft class.
None.
There are draft
and
classes.
they were available when the Titans picked back then, too.
There are draft classes where most of the draft picks were in for 30 visits. So you're right. New regime, who knows? But
We have no idea.
I think it was an interesting point made by him, and so we'll investigate that.
I'll also say this,
For sure.
though, back then, I feel like the Titans were not in the dire position of need at certain positions like
And
they
to
are
pick up
now.
a little, yeah, we can go
to
pick
where it probably will tell you a little bit more this time around because of that,
He also wants to talk about how to maximize a Levis trade this week and the receivers they're targeting based on conversations he's had over the course of the last couple
Maximize
months.
a Levis trade. Please tell me.
I want to see.
I can't wait to hear Easton's take on that because what would you give for Levis, Mayor?
I got some Grippos tater chips in the car.
Those are pretty good, actually.
Are they
no.
Grippos or Zippos?
No Grippos.
What are Grippos?
Grippos are
Oh, it's like
phenomenal.
Jif and
yeah,
Gif?
it's like no. This, this
I thought
like,
the Zippos are what you get at Potbelly that are like from New
No,
Orleans.
those are Zaps.
Zaps.
Yep.
Okay.
Grippos are made in Kentucky, so you only get them in northern Kentucky, Cincinnati.
Shout out Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a bag at the break. But I was saying that because we can go get a Will Levis for a bag of chips.
I haven't eaten since dinner last night, so
And a Coke.
Yeah, there you go.
Have a
You got
Coke
a
and a
Will
Smile.
Levis, you can get a meal.
So, Will Levis. I'll go through some Bleacher Report possibility. They've got 4 that I outlined that are potential Will Levis trades that we can do when we come back. 615-737-1045 is how you get here at 3HL 1045 on X.
I'm feeling the different ways, y'all. Once we dive into it,
How are you feeling? You're moving away from the whiteboard?
no, I'm kind of standing with the white. What did I got? What I got on? Did I go trade back or go Cam Ward? Yeah, check the whiteboard
stand
out,
by.
y'all.
I'll go get it for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I
y'all.
don't remember what y'all have done because you flip-flop so many times, which is fine. I mean,
it-
everybody, you're
Babs,
entitled
We're
to
going
it.
into the season where people are wearing flip-flops.
That's right.
So why
You're
would
right.
we not flip-flop?
You're entitled.
Thank you, y'all. The board, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board. It reads.
I love that you have a whiteboard in here. And it survived the cataclysmic detoxification of the studio.
I'm different. March 25th, 2025. Thank you, Yor.
Glad you realize it.
March 25th, 2025. Babsy, no waiver.
Yeah. Where was I?
Yoro, Cam Ward.
Yep, that's where I was still at.
Zephyr.
Although, if they do trade back, I'm here for the entertainment.
Of course, you're the mayor.
Hey, I cheer for the headline, man.
Listen,
Zephyr
he
stayed
got
at
his
Cam
nickname
Ward.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Yes. Zephyr, you are at Cam Ward still.
Yes, I'm staying with Cam Ward.
Okay. Well, we didn't ask that part yet, but this is a
Bert is in there. Where's Bert on this deal?
Bert, where are you at?
Bert, who are you?
Cam Ward?
not who are you.
Somebody else.
Who are you?
He said somebody else.
Meaning you're somebody else, or are you going to pick somebody else?
He can't hear us.
It don't matter to me. I'm just ready to get the pick over with. I feel like we took all the stuff. This is like,
It don't matter to me.
by the way, here's your Christmas present, and I got you socks.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even need to open it. We already know what you got. Like,
So-
that's where I'm at.
So I saw the other day your Ravens with James Pierce Jr. in the first round,
I wouldn't hate that.
right?
Wouldn't hate that at all.
Throw him in for
But he
15
has an
plays a game.
attitude.
That's what they said about me, too. But look, I'm still here at work. That's what having an attitude does.
You're in management, man. You're on the carpet.
That's triple B to y'all, Big Boss Bert.
I still can't believe they made you management. Lord have mercy.
Lord, hey, listen, kids, anything can happen, man.
So,
That's right.
Just keep pushing.
to Bert's point, though, that's what I think is making me
Trade your
but
picks.
change my mind. Yep.
Wait, you're the one person in here that said like 6 months ago, like,
I'm not
I'm going to
gonna
believe what I see.
I know.
And I'm not changing.
I know, shame on me.
So what are you now?
Because of what Bert said, like, you know what you're getting for Christmas? I'm getting you socks. Yeah, but I don't think, you understanding the value of socks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, socks are a must need.
I like where you're going
Listen,
with this. It's like-
Quarterback is not socks
like-
in the
Yeah, but
wardrobe.
Listen,
have you ever walked
nobody
around
gets
with no
socks.
socks and gotten wet shoes and you feel like your
See?
feet get slimy? Socks.
Offensive linemen are socks in the wardrobe.
Nope.
You gotta have this, y'all.
I like this. I like the direction you're going.
Yeah.
Listen, I look at my bonus son's sock drawer I do when I do laundry. They all have holes in them.
See?
But nobody ever buys him socks.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
big.
socks are
Listen,
important.
That's overlooked,
If I
and I
saw
feel like that's
socks-
what's been done with our number one pick.
If I saw socks with holes in them, I would see them one time. And
they
they
be
gone.
gone.
Oh, no. I'm like, you're going to keep wearing them if you're going to not wear shoes.
Dude, you get blisters and everything. Feet
But
stink.
so that's why
But
I'm changing.
seriously, I like where you're going.
Yeah, because I think this, and I don't know if I talked myself into this or just listening. I don't know, Babs kind of swindled me into this or what's going on, but
I'm a swindler.
our number one pick for Cam Ward
I
is
said swindler,
undervalued.
not swinger, people.
Yes, swindler.
I was trying to double check and see what is it.
Don't worry.
Listen to Bert. Bert's losing it in there. I'm a swindler, not a swinger.
So we can dive into this a little bit more, but I'm telling you right now,
Where were you March 25th?
trade back.
Oof.
Oh, so now you're a quarterback. I thought you moved
No,
off
I'm not.
quarterback.
I'm not only quarterback. I'm franchise changing Cam Ward quarterback.
Is it because he liked
Welcome.
your guy?
No,
Traylon Burks?
no, and I know what a lot of people thinking. I know
Traylon.
they think. No, what I'm thinking with that is when we talk to Easter Freeze, him talking about looking for receivers.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking for people to be a 3 or 4 or 5 because we already got a 1 and a 2. But
Snort
with
again,
Cam
too,
Ward,
in one segment.
Cam Ward specifically, I think it's undervalued because it's just not a hype around him because of how steady he is. He's getting punished for being steady.
It's funny. Kyle Brandt said that this morning
Did he?
on, I think, Good Morning,
Good morning, football. Yeah.
He was like, am I going to get suspended for talking about Cam Ward? Like, because I'm not talking about, Sanders right now, because Cam Ward is the most untalked about number 1 overall pick
Yeah.
in the history of draft.
This is kind of crazy.
I think because it's been so obvious for so long.
Yeah, but
Is
we've
it
had
also
other
because of the Titans?
we've had other obvious number one picks out here before too. They still get all the coverage.
There have been lots of bad teams that draft number one. I mean, that's
You're
typically
right.
what happens.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily about the team that's drafting them. It's about the person that's getting drafted.
TN
Because
fan.
he gives you nothing to
take and
talk
run with and latch
negative
on. That's
about.
what I'm saying. So it's so consistent and in some ways vanilla, like you overlook it. But you don't know how good vanilla ice cream is.
TN fan on YouTube says quarterbacks are pants. You cannot go outside without pants.
Oh, I beg to differ.
I don't think they're socks. Socks are utilitarian.
Man,
you need
socks,
quarterback to be special. You need quarterback to be like your lucky shirt.
My neighbor's kid has been outside with no pants for like the last week.
Yeah, but not a grown-ass man.
No, who needs pants?
You get arrested.
Look at Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh doesn't have pants. That's a problem.
And he's loved by everybody.
Everybody loves that guy
Let's be
without
particular his belly with honey.
When we come back, Bleacher Report has some proposed Will Levis trades. I'll run by you. See what you like. That's next 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, that's where you need to go to get that lawn looking great. They've got all the equipment and the know-how, the advice, all of it. Trey Hartsook here with more.
Hey, Brent, yeah, I want to make sure that our lawn stays looking good, getting prepped up for the summer months that we know it's going to be hot, it's going to be dry. Because a lot of people come in and they ask, well, man, I always have a good lawn in the spring, and now in the summer it tends to die off on me a little bit. Well, there is ways that you can keep that from happening, and one of those is to get your grass as healthy as possible so when the warm weather hits, you'll be ready to keep it alive throughout the summer with the custom blended fertilizers from Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Stop in and see us. We'd love to talk to you about it. Conveniently located in Alderville, Tennessee. Got locations in Nashville, Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Bellevue, Brentwood, Lumber, Mount Juliet, and Franklin. If you can't get a hold of us, check us out online, DickensSupply.com.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. The executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
Good weekend, Zeph Dog?
Yeah.
Didn't hear a lot from you. Is it because Kentucky beat Tennessee?
They beat the crap out of Tennessee. And from what I saw, Tennessee forgot how to play defense this weekend.
How did Sunday go?
It got smoked.
Slaughterhouse.
8-2, something like that.
Yes.
I actually fell asleep during the game. I woke up and it's like, you know how ESPN Plus on your TV is like, your program is over. I'm like, okay.
So the problem on Saturday was defensive errors, and they couldn't catch a stolen. They couldn't catch a person stealing second or third at all. And Marcus Phillips, so slow on the mound.
Yeah,
really good. Had 9 strikeouts. Just so slow, so easy to steal on. And then on the
Kentucky's great at stolen bases too. What are they, 2 in the SEC, something like that?
And then same issue on Sunday, defensive errors and stolen bases. And then Tennessee's bottom half of their lineup
No offense, man.
was like 3 for 27 on Saturday and Sunday.
So the guy on Saturday for Kentucky was dominant. And then they were like, he's a 7-year senior or whatever. And I'm like, okay,
geez.
my guy's like out here 20. He's like Baker Mazzara out here. 26-year-old dude on the mound against an 18-year-old kid.
But
in the box.
still,
He's
bizarre.
He had like
It's
14
different in
strikeouts.
baseball and basketball.
Yeah.
That's some different mechanics, strength, everything.
So the Vols get their highest profile basketball recruit in the Rick Barnes era as high school McDonald's All-American. Ranked number 3 player in high school, Nate Ament commits to Tennessee. We mentioned this on Friday, and when I mentioned his name, you just shook your head. And you're like, no. This dude is different.
He's a dude. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, he's a dude, man. Like,
Should have gone to Duke.
But you know where he went?
It's good that you have 3 teams.
What's that third team?
It was Tennessee over Duke, Louisville, Arkansas,
Stop
and
abusing
Kentucky.
your privilege.
6'9", 185. He's kind of, I watched a bunch of his tape today, and he's exceptionally athletic and long. I don't know what his wingspan is, but it's more than what a 6'9" dude should be, I think. And then he's just so fluid and, like, chill.
Yeah. I think you found a good one. Found a diamond in the rough with this. Well, not really a diamond in the rough, but a diamond, a project that I think, man, is not even close to reaching what his potential could be.
That's what it looks like on his high school team.
Like
he shoots a lot of threes too.
He get up there early. Like, I would expect him to get, by the time the season comes around, he could be 200 pounds, which would be a significant difference.
What is he right now?
185. Yeah, Slim Jim. But I mean, the way everybody
He's
else
slim.
built, yeah,
Slim
everybody.
Shady.
That's how people are built these days. Like, you watch the game, the basketball game. There's no more bulky guys, and
A lot of guys don't work out at all.
especially with weights.
That's why
A lot more resistance. Yeah. So yeah, but I think this is key. This is probably the biggest recruit since Bernard King, like, to go land at the University of Tennessee, and that's saying a lot. Because there's been some McDonald's All-Americans and everything come through.
GoVols 24/7 listed Tobias Harrison now in Houston as maybe the only 2 players more decorated than this guy in terms of skill coming in.
Yeah, I would put Vincent Yarbrough right there in that conversation as well, because you got to remember Vince was the number 1 player in the country in the South. Period, hands down, no questions about it. So Vince was heralded.
I want to awaken the sleeping giant. I'll never forget his quote.
Like, Vince was
when he committed to Tennessee.
That was big. Like, Vince easily
Ray
could have went
Grant.
to Kentucky and been the guy. But yeah, so this young man, dog, like, and the thing that was most important to me, it was a lot of movement going around the SEC. Arkansas is loaded. Auburn is loaded. Florida's loading
Bruce
back
has
up.
been doing
Dude,
some work.
This is how I know they loaded, and Bruce feels good about it. So I put out a tweet. Okay, Auburn's not resting on their laurels. I see you, Auburn basketball. And Bruce retweeted it. Like, yeah. I know
Hey,
you
notice,
see it.
big fella.
I know you see it. Yeah, like, hell yeah. So you got them Kentucky's reload. Like, everybody was making moves, and Tennessee went out and made moves early with Gillespie and Carey, but kind of was quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a big move.
Will this help them get other players?
I think so. A lot of people.
Don't you want to go play with a guy
want
like
to play
that?
with
If
talent.
you can.
You know what I'm saying? And not only playing with him, but the attraction that he's going get from scouts and everything that's going to be at the game and at practices.
That's
yeah,
right.
so
Great
you
point.
get a free look. But yeah, man, if I had to go out and rank them right now, I think I'd have Arkansas 1, Auburn 2, Tennessee, Kentucky tied for 3.
I forget where I got this. I think it was
SEC,
on
baby.
3, but Oklahoma guard Duke Miles will visit Tennessee. 12 points,
That's
3
huge.
boards, 3 assists per game last year. Here are the things. Here are the things that
Flamethrower.
he shot 43% from 3,
Contested or uncontested.
51.4% from the floor
Dog,
for a guard.
he was one of the, like Jeremiah Fears was the reason they made that run, but him coming off the bench a lot of times was humongous. Duke Miles, man. Shout out to the Jazz listeners out there.
Did you have a quote that you wanted to pass along from Ament?
Yeah, right after he committed on Sunday, he did an interview with Jonathan Givney out of ESPN. He said, Coach Rick Barnes sees me as a one-and-done type player. He has done it before with Kevin Durant. He sees me as that kind of guy for his program. I built a great relationship with the coaching staff. I trust them a lot, and they have big goals for me. I think they'll do a great job developing me as a player and a young man. I trust the coaches to help me get to the next level.
It'll be interesting. You always want to have those guys protected by veteran leadership around them. So it's going to be interesting to know. I would love to have seen this with Meshack and Zakai Gainey and those guys to kind of protect them. You know what I'm saying? But now he kind of out there on his own. Hopefully Gillespie can help with that. A guy like Duke Miles. But a lot of pressure right there for freshmen. I'm never big on a freshman being able to lead your team.
Does Kerry get involved in that leadership element?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the guys that's going to have a voice, played in this league, had success in this league, had success building his way up, you know what I mean, coming from James Madison. So,
Do you see what
Yeah.
Rick Barnes said about him?
what?
He said, no one we played during the entire season screened us better than Kerry.
He was a bully. He's a bully.
He was like, we need that.
Bad.
So,
They could have really used that against Houston.
yeah.
Like, you just got kind of bullied against Houston.
Bully. Bleacher Report proposed some Will Levis trades. Y'all ready for this?
Give it to me, baby.
Yes.
Y'all ready for this?
Please.
Pumpty.
Can't wait to hear this.
All right, number 1. Titans get running back Breece Hall from the Jets for Levis and a 4th-round pick in 2025.
No.
No.
No
We're
Breece Hall.
losing in that. We're losing in that.
No Breece Hall.
And this is, I mean, there's a lot of good running backs in this
Yeah.
draft.
Plus, he's
too,
pretty
right?
similar to the 2 they got.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better, maybe, but
It may be a better, I don't know. I was going to say route runner.
a little
because
more electric.
What's the name used to,
Pollard.
Aaron Rodgers used to
Oh.
put him out wide a lot. Remember when he used to get those matchups and be like, just go.
I loved Breece Hall at
Who-
Iowa
Which,
State. I loved him.
Which Titans linebacker did he torch in that
Yeah,
Titans Jets
that's what
game?
Yeah,
Was it
that's what I'm
Kenneth,
saying.
Kenneth
Kept on
Murray?
putting him out there. Yup. You want Brees Hall?
No. I agree with you guys. I'm just throwing these out there.
Okay.
I want to get your take.
I like it.
I'm just lobbing these fast as y'all can dug
Throw
them.
'em up,
or
baby.
you can throw them in the stands. I don't.
Okay, I like it.
Maybe we should also look at it differently. You're talking about Will Levis. What's the value for Will Levis? You get a 4th-round pick and a player? Maybe.
No, you're
Yeah.
giving up a 4th-round pick.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're giving
with-
up.
And
Yeah.
Levis.
See,
for
that's
Breece Hall.
That's a yeah. See,
Okay, no.
The
That's a
value
steal.
they're placing more value on Breece Hall
Yeah,
than
no. Then
this
it's
room.
deserved.
Yeah, that's bargain hut.
number 2. Morgan, I love that place. Number 2, if you need a wire of any kind, they got you. HDMI, whatever you need. I mean,
I never been in. I always see it.
you're down there by the zoo,
Mm-hmm.
where they used to be.
Yeah, that's what the junkie is too. Chunky.
Maybe that's where she was
Apparently,
going.
she's in Philly now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, AJ Brown.
Yeah, she's on the loose again. Somebody get her.
We'll
Yes.
get to that.
It's a relative.
AJ Brown's car was stolen early in the morning. What was it? 3:45, something like that.
It was 3:42, and dude was in and out by 3:45.
Really?
Yeah.
Easy.
AJ went on, did a video, and talked about it.
Yeah.
Man, you was fast.
Welcome to Philly.
You were quick. 3:42 out of there. 3:45. 3 minutes still in a
That's
car.
good.
That's impressive.
We go up there for Army Navy, and I've had multiple people that live in Philly say, "Hey, watch your head around here, head on a swivel."
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that story. Number 2, The Titans get a 2026 third-round pick from the Minnesota Vikings for Levis and a 2025 fourth-round pick.
No.
So you're giving up one of 2 fourth-round picks and Levis for a third-rounder, but it's next year.
You need it this year.
Yeah.
Who wants to wait another year, man?
Man, who
This is why we buy on the internet.
Boo-boo the fool. That's what they think we are, boo-boo the fool.
You ever get a
That's why
package?
Amazon is awesome.
You ever get a package and you're like, I have no idea what's in this package. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Just go through hidden.
Does that happen to you?
Every day.
Babsy's going to proceed to checkout, not just place in cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apple Pay makes it real easy.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
You don't even have to get in the cart. That's
I
right.
mean, all you have to do is look at our garage with our recyclables.
Well, that's
Heading
good.
to the recycling center. They're all Amazon boxes.
Yeah.
Boxes. All
Clearly,
right,
Mr.
number
Babs
3.
has a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that problem? You and wine.
Well played. Well
Number
played.
3. Titans get a 2025 fourth-round pick. That gives them 3. From the Rams for Levis and a 2025 fifth-round pick.
Why do they keep trying to get picks from us?
But you can give up a fifth-rounder next year and Levis and get another fourth-rounder this year. That
That you can package
move
to
up.
move
Yes.
into the third. I don't hate that.
So how many fourths do you have this year? 2?
2.
So that will give you 3.
That's right? 2? 2
Yes.
fourth-rounders?
I had
Yes.
it
It's been a
written down.
minute since I looked at that.
Yeah, I got it written down.
Here we go. First overall, second round, which is third in the round,
35.
35. And then 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and 2
2
sixths.
sixes, no sevens.
9 picks total.
All right. I don't hate that one.
I don't hate it.
That ain't
to-
just too bad.
I mean,
Compared to the other 2. I got one more.
okay.
Titans get a 2025 sixth-round pick, meaning you would have 3 of those, from the Saints and quarterback Ben DiNucci for Levis.
Ben DiNucci, former Cowboy.
Shaking your head.
Means no.
I mean,
I don't
Why?
like any of these deals.
but
really.
why? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, why did wait? Babsy just talking about being a swindler earlier. That's what these picks are trying to do to us, swindle us. We're not buying that.
I mean, what do you need? Another 6th round? Honestly,
I don't even want a sixth-round pick.
no. If you're the Titans, you're looking for
Sorry to-
something.
Just don't even want
Any
it.
of
You're
y'all that
looking
are
for
listening that were
something that you
sixth-round picks.
can.
Don't even want it.
I mean, that's
I think
a
they got 2 of them.
crapshoot.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you want another one?
Um,
Let me get another guy I could cut, although on this roster.
but if you're the Titans, you're looking for something that may be either a third rounder or that you can package what you have already in the 4th round to move into the 3rd round.
That's right.
because
That's why I kind of like
you're
the third
missing
one.
that.
Titans get a 2025 fourth-round pick from the Rams for Levis and a 2025 fifth-rounder.
I like it. I don't hate that. I mean, you're done. If you're
I'm
the
not worried about
Titans,
next year
you're
right now.
done. If you're the Titans, you're done with Levis, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So you might as
That-
well get something out of him.
I think
I
they,
just don't want to get them.
they made
I
that
also-
He's gonna
very
help somebody.
well known with A to Z Sports with our guy Easton.
oh, that's right. We can
Yeah.
talk to him about that.
90-minute interview.
I also, you pick Cam 1 overall, right? We're kind of all under the consensus that that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wonder or worry about the quarterback room having Will Levis in that room?
You know what? I was at first.
Is he going to get funky in that room?
I think Cam is accepting of it all. He been against the odds all his life anyway. Like it might make him even better.
Because I
Having
don't
a
know.
Will
Like,
Levis push him?
Mm-hmm. Like, cause I think he has the attitude, mentality to stand up and say, you know what? Come on, dog. They brought me in for a reason. Let me go and show you. Listen to the way he was talking to Shador. That ain't just cause they cool. That's
But they are
competitive
cool,
fire.
and
But
they've
they are.
been- and they
but
have
I'm
been
saying
for a long time.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I feel comfortable him being in any room feeling that way about himself,
100%.
especially in the game.
I just wonder if you worry about from a mentality, maybe go too hard over emotional Will Levis, right? That we saw sometimes.
Yeah,
I just wonder if you worry about having that in your quarterback room.
if I'm Cam, I'm like, hell yeah, let him crash out. Let everybody see how wild and crazy he is. Yeah, I thought y'all saw some last year. Put it on display.
Because
It doesn't
Levis's
concern me,
competitiveness.
But Levis is kind of next level
I agree.
from an emotional standpoint.
I think it.
And I'll tell you this, Cam Ward ain't.
Yeah, but a lot of times that can just bring out the best in people too. Like put me with a nut.
That being said, I do think Levis is a nut, but I don't think he's like a bad apple.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
no.
I think he's
It's all gonna be
a good kid.
It's gonna be on him. I don't think he's gonna project anything off to like down somebody. It's all gonna be like, hey man,
Exactly.
you better come to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you just gonna be a lot of times you can be like, hey, Will, we were trying to coach everybody up in this situation. Like you ain't gotta answer all the questions.
Right.
One of them situations.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a great way to put it. It's like
don't answer
because I
this.
could absolutely see that.
Yeah, put your hand down.
We've all been in that class with that guy.
Yeah. Ooh, we just answered the last two, dog. Let somebody else.
Give somebody else.
We know you studied. All right, cool.
Plus, it's like he never wavers. Like that guy's still going to raise his hand even if he's missed the last
And
8
he
questions.
knows.
Like I'll get this one.
And he know he might not get called on. He's still gonna have it in there.
Oh Lordy! AJ Brown's car was stolen. We got details on that next. 3HL 1045 The Zone. More rain again today, man. If you've got waterproofing issues, I've got the company for you. United Structural Systems, USSTN.com is the website. Again, that's USSTN.com. More than 30,000 100% satisfied residential customers. And these guys are here for you, and that is definitely true. If you're having waterproofing issues, some of the symptoms may be affecting you. Staining water in your crawl space, musty odors, or floor joists with wood rot, cracks in basement floors, hardwood floors, cupping. Your house may be trying to tell you something. Putting off a moisture issue in your home is bad for your health and could lead to more expensive repairs down the road. When USS comes to your house, you're getting problem solvers who provide peace of mind to their customers, the homeowner. You're not getting someone who is worried about meeting a sales quota or upselling the next big thing, but someone there to educate you and help you understand what's happening with your home, waterproofing needs, foundation repair. These guys can help you out and will. Homeowners trust USS. USS, keeping homes dry and stable. We guarantee our best. Call USS 615-488-7855. USS, serving Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Western Kentucky. Online, USSTN.com. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Such a weird line in this song. Well, several, but warm smell of colitis. I forget what colitis is. I think it's the innards of something. It's a weird song.
I mean, the whole song is, let's be
And
honest.
none of their other songs are weird, but this one is weird. And one of the best songs ever. Oh, yeah. An infection in your colon. There you go.
Jeez.
Warm smell of colitis.
Okay.
Rising up through the air. 615-737-1045 at 3HL 1045. You're really going to have to deal with me tomorrow because I just started this documentary on Led Zeppelin, so get ready.
Oh, boy.
I love that band. Anyway, you can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
I'm looking for a comment in here. Here it is. Wallace Dooley. How shocked would you be if they draft Sanders? More shocked than if I woke up with my face sewn to the carpet.
Now, hold on. Are you asking if they draft Sanders 1 overall or if they trade back, get a bunch of picks, and then end up
to your point,
drafting
if somebody
Sanders?
throws 3 first-rounders at you, you have to do it. I don't care how good Cam Ward is, right?
Agreed.
Yeah, but if they straight up choose Shedeur Sanders over Cam Ward at number 1,
Yeah, that's not
my
happening.
jaw is going to be through the floor.
That ain't happening.
The line I used for
there
is from
is
Christmas Vacation, by the way.
Besides Mel Kiper, I don't think there is a single analyst draft person out there that has Shedeur Sanders ranked over Cam Ward in quarterback.
I love Greg
Mel Kiper
Cosell.
is seriously the first one.
I love Greg.
And
I saw some other dude on the internet today with the same take. But, these guys, that's such a stale storyline because it hasn't changed. You know what I mean? And these guys need clicks, right? For business health. So they don't get, colitis.
I
yeah.
always thought that was basically the smell of marijuana.
Actually, I think that's colitis. Orange smell of colitis rising up through the air. Anyway. No, they're not taking Shedeur number 1.
Does Zach, our Zach, from Blaine and Zach, have Shedeur over Cam?
So, no. Stoney, from what I asked him today when he sent us his draft guide from Stacking the Inbox, which is a 400 and something page draft guide, which is phenomenal, by the way. I looked through it. It is very detailed. I think Stoney Keeley, his partner, put Shedeur at 1 and Cam 2 in the quarterback rankings. However, if you look at their fits with the Titans, he's got the fits for Cam Ward better for the Titans than for Shedeur Sanders, if you dive deeper into their individual evaluations.
Okay.
But he's got Shedeur over Cam Ward, which I thought was very
Welcome back in.
I didn't know my mic was on.
That was quite an entrance.
I didn't even notice it. Sorry, I was processing.
Real bad.
Yeah, there's a lot to process.
Okay.
I'm reading about colitis.
We're just moving on.
615-737-1045 at 3HL 1045. I'll go ahead and throw your Wallace Dooley's question at you. How now Babs is yelling at him. We can hear you. You're talking so loud that we can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Gosh. What a wreck.
I was talking to Zeph. Mind your own.
When you're into a microphone and you're in a room full of live microphones. Wallace's question was, how shocked would you be if they drafted Shedeur, number 1?
I'll be very shocked right now.
Yeah.
At this point, what are you trying to do?
It's not happening.
Yeah, what you trying to shake up the whole draft and still be where you are?
Remember we used to do this thing called May or May Not Be Funny?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think we should do it right now. This is a comedian. Okay.
We have an
Intro
intro
first.
for that.
Forgot.
I love the sleigh laugh.
Zeph, what's the name of the comedian? Do you know?
It is Karen Mills.
Karen Mills. All right. This may
It's
or
a Karen.
This may or may not be funny. This is a comedian on stage with a little SEC humor and also death row. So, like, it fits kind of into my wheelhouse. Dark, but also, to me, funny. So this segment started with me or Seth finding something on the internet that we thought might be funny, and we run it by Dawn and Slay.
Hit us.
Waiting execution, one from Tennessee, one from Georgia.
Two guys.
They asked them if they had any last requests before they killed them. The guy from Tennessee said, "Oh, yes, I do. I'm a huge volunteer fan. And just one last time, I'd like to hear Rocky Top before I die." The guy from Georgia said, "Well, then my request is that you kill me first."
Come on now.
Funny?
That's funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay. May or may not be funny. It pops up on the show every once in a while. 615-737-1045 at 3HL1045 if you want in on X. A.J. Brown's car was stolen. He wrote this on social media. Listen here, Chunky Junkie. No, he didn't write that.
I was going to say, man, that's got to be a cousin. Got to be a cousin.
You think Chunky Junkie? She's got this is the Northeast branch.
This is the Enterprise. Junkie Enterprises. CJE.
A.J. Brown wrote, "Dear Philly, whoever stole my car last night, I'll make a deal with you. Bring back my car and I will not press charges, or when I find you today, it's going to be what it's going to be. Take it or leave it, my guy." What you got, Slay?
Threatening a felon.
I like how you ended with my guy. Take it or leave it, my guy.
Yeah, but so I'm going to bring your car back and tell you my fault, and all is going to be forgotten. Like, you ain't going to do nothing. I'm just, hey, man, sorry about taking your car last night. Here go your keys, dog. Oh, well, you know what? I ain't got keys, so here's your car.
Can't go down that way.
And I should just walk back down the street like, well, that's done.
AJ,
Should I have somebody pick me up?
For him to bring back the car to AJ, number one, this guy clearly has not much to lose. Okay. He's willing to, bend the rules.
Yeah.
But he's not going to walk into a situation like that, right? Like, so what if AJ said, all right, bring my car, leave it over here, whatever. There won't be anybody there.
Yeah.
Do it that way.
No, you need to put a price tag on it. That gets everybody to move. Because apparently he did this not to steal your car because he needs a car, but to get some kind of reward or some money for it. Get paid for it. So, all right, dog, I got $10,000 for you. You know what I mean? If you want your car back that bad, or, hey, dog, just go wreck my car. Total it on out. I got insurance. You can have the car. I get another one.
Well, I mean, he has insurance. So even if he doesn't get it back,
like, what are we talking about?
You cash it out, right?
That's what I'm saying. So what is the conversation, AJ?
I wonder what kind of car it is. Like, it's got to have all kinds of custom stuff that he don't want to have to do again.
Mm-hmm.
Or, some people with their cars, man, they name them and stuff. Like, they get really attached to them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I miss my car.
You do?
A lot. Because my car, you can get in and out.
Yeah.
This big old truck, you got to watch where you're going and park in certain places. Well,
you can't park in garages at all.
Some of us have to watch where we're going when we're in a big truck.
Why are you laughing?
Babs just goes.
Why am I catching strays?
Just goes where she wants to go in that truck.
We were walking around her truck the other day because she got it detailed and it looks so great. And then we played Where Did This Scratch Come From? And man, it's like you've hit a lot of things, man.
Why do you have to tell people all of this? Is nothing sacred?
That's true. You're right. You're right.
Listen.
You're right.
You got to get used to that long bed in the back, and sometimes you whip it around a little too fast, and there's a wall there, there's a mailbox, there's a car, there's those stupid post and parking garages. Can we not make those thinner?
Yeah, Babsy, my girl.
But you with that truck, I didn't even think about it because you go to Potbelly all the time. I'm like, yeah, man, they got that garage right there. You get a free hour, and you're like, I can't pull that.
No, I pull. No, my folks. I pull right in front.
Yeah,
right in front.
They know me now, so now they start when they see the truck pull up, they start getting my order ready.
Really?
Yeah, he eats there like every day.
Well, I know, but like when you first started going, you were trying different things.
Mm-hmm.
You landed on something.
I'm Mama's Meatball, and then I'm peanut butter and jelly spinach smoothie from next door. And a couple shots of turmeric and all these things.
Sorry, I'm back to stolen cars. Do we know what
Back to
kind of
stealing
car it
cars.
was?
That's what I'm
AJ
saying. Like, I want to
Brown's
know.
like, we
because
need to know.
for him to want it back that bad, he's got to
It's
have
gotta
all
be
kinds
fancy,
of
right?
custom stuff done to it that he doesn't want to do it again.
Let's look.
I bet it's out there somewhere. He used to drive an Accord.
Who did? AJ?
AJ Brown.
I love Accords.
Just a plain
I
old
had one.
Honda Accord.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, those things last forever.
Forever. Toyota Camry? Forever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what
Maybe it was a Toyota Camry.
my algorithm is crazy.
Pretty sure no.
We need to find out what A.J. Brown was driving. All right,
That's what I'm trying to
Easton
find.
Freeze, he just texted me his ETA is 3:58. So let's take a break. Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports will be in studio, and we've got a lot to get to with him, and we'll do that next.
Could've been a
3HL
Rolls
104.
Royce.
What?
Could have been a Rolls Royce. That's what he has on here on April 8th. Nice Rolls Royce.
Yeah, I'd probably want that back. I don't think he's getting the car back, Slave.
Yeah, I doubt it.
All right, we'll be right back. Big Savage going after it. If you are often feeling tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait. Find out. At Low T Center, they make it easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get your results right there. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients, and super important, their personal treatment plans are optimized for each patient. These are not just basic standard treatments. For current patients, Low T Center offering you a $150 referral credit for each new patient that you refer. And at Low T Center, you can get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medications. So get back to being your best. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Good afternoon. It is 4:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Tennessee Titans are scheduled to have a pre-draft press conference tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Central Time. Mike Bergonzi, Brian Callahan, and Chad Brinker will all speak. You can catch it right here on The Zone at the start of Cover 2. In Tennessee football news, the Vols and former App State and UCLA quarterback Joey Aguilar are expected to meet later today about potentially joining the Vols, according to Chris Lowe of ESPN. Aguilar, who transferred to UCLA in the winter, entered the portal today after his UCLA got a commitment from former Vols quarterback Nico Iamaleava. Aguilar has 1 year of eligibility left and threw for 6,760 yards and 56 touchdowns in 2 years as a starter at App State. Tulane and Wake Forest are also in the mix. In Lady Vols news, Kim Caldwell got a big transfer portal addition today, adding the 2024 Big Ten Sixth Player of the Year, Janiyah Barker, out of UCLA. For all your foundation repair and whatever needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Bring news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
$3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. It is NFL Draft Week. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
There she is. She's Babsy Davenport.
Let's go.
What up, Babsy?
It's draft week, y'all.
It is Draft Week. And
I'm pumped. I texted the boys at about 8 a.m. Hey,
You
y'all,
ready.
guess what? It's time.
I woke up at 3 and couldn't go back to sleep. Actually, I think I sent Zeph, may or may not be funny, at like 4:30 in the morning, maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zeph.
That is correct. I was asleep. It didn't wake me up.
Do you put your, do you do silence?
Yeah, I don't keep my ringer on at all. At
Really?
any point in the day.
Yeah, I don't think I have my ring on. If it is, something's wrong.
Like ever?
Yeah, I usually go, I'm a vibrator all the time.
I have to keep mine on because I lose my phone all the time and then need to call it to find it.
I have been the one that's had to call you several times
That is correct.
recently. You lost your phone at Ferguson home. That was amazing.
Oh,
No, you lost your whole purse there.
yeah, that was the whole purse.
Yeah. Slay Dog is here.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building. Better be ready. It's time.
It is indeed. Again, you can follow us live on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
The F&M Bank chat is open. If you want to communicate with some of the 3HL family, you can do it there. A lot of y'all watching on YouTube. We're getting all of our cameras situated. Zeph Dog running Zone TV in there. The executive producer of 3HL, Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports in
Easton.
studio. Easton, what's up? How are you?
What's up, guys? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
What's
This is the
happening?
first time we've had you in here.
Yeah, I get told by friends and family all the time when they hear about me on the radio.
Yeah.
And it's y'all's show that is the most common perpetrator, I think. So I appreciate the love for reading the silly words that I write on the internet. But I'm glad to be here in person.
Well,
So-
we have enjoyed your deep dive into visits. That's for sure.
And it's tough to find creative ways to write about something that you know is going to happen, which is Cam Ward will be drafted
You're
overall
telling me,
number
man.
one
Yeah,
on
it's-
Thursday.
I'm glad it's this week because after this week, the well is dry. I had a notes list on my phone of things that I started like at the combine of just constantly jotting down ideas and then using the ideas and then adding more ideas. And it is thin this week. There's like 4 things left on there. So it's time for us to, let's meet the guy on Friday, maybe.
Yeah, finally. Let's get to him.
Easton Freeze, A to Z Sports. All right, so there are lots of things, as you said, that we reference you all the time with your great Titans draft coverage content. And one of the stories I recently read was an interesting avenue that you went down. And you took you've done several things on the 30 visits. So for people that don't know, each team gets 30 basically official visits where they can bring players in. There is a locality element to other visits that they can use. But in terms of the 30, you kind of noticed a trend in terms of where players are kind of typically ranked in terms of this draft coming up. And you found some interesting things because this team does not have a pick from 35 until the 4th round.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys on the way in here, and the point that you made about we don't know what this regime is going to value in terms of whether the visits are primarily guys that they're most interested in, are they the guys that they have the most questions about. The little bits that I've been able to pry away from talking to people in the building is that it is the standard. We at least have some level of interest in this guy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be wasting our time and money. We have to fly him in here. That is not free. And we're also spending the day with him. So we have some interest in drafting them, but we have questions. And there are certain guys like Emeka Egbuka and Matthew Golden, who are guys that I was told very early on, like, we're not going to meet with those guys because we're good. We love them. We like these guys a lot. They're great prospects, and we have them rated where we have them rated. But we met with them.
Injury info on them. We don't need our own doctors to look at him. We are comfortable with the tape and the personality and the behind the scenes.
Yeah, and they got 18 minutes with those guys at the combine, and they're like, we're good. That's all we need. These guys are what they are. And then they have these guys in for 30 visits, which you never know quite how many you're going to find out about. Last year I think we only found out about like 18 of them, and the 3 of the 18 we found out about they ended up drafting. So there was some correlation there at least. This year we've got 28 of the 30. I think that's all we're going to get. I know we have every offensive guy on there because I double checked. So if there were 2 more, which they don't always use all 30, it may just be they had 28 guys, but the 2 potential mysteries were probably defensive guys if they existed. And so with the idea in mind that we don't quite know whether or not this means everything to them or something to them, I think the most telling thing, the biggest takeaway for me, which I wrote about in that piece, was the range in which most of these guys are expected to come off the board. And when you go by, which there's no perfect way of looking at this, but the consensus big board, which I look at all the time, just kind of for a rough frame of reference, a full half of the potential 30 visits that we know about are guys that are in between their second and third pick right now, pick 35 and pick 103. And I listed those in the article, but it's like 34th, 37th, 49th, 51, 59, 65, 70, 79, 82, 83, 85, blah, 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 blah. Guys pretty evenly throughout that range that is currently a desert on their board of available picks. Like, why exactly would you be spending all this time on guys that are surefire third rounders if you don't expect to maybe at least have a chance to get back into the third round? And I earlier today was kind of thinking about fundamentals. Like, we get to the end here, and I think it's important to look back on the entire draft process and think, what do we know about what do we know for sure about this regime, about the way that they think about the draft, which is not a ton because it's their first year. What did they tell us out of the gate that we maybe have forgotten about because it was January and February? The things that I think we can hang our hat on when we try to predict what they're going to do. And, it was the introductory press conference when we heard all about how, hey, we'd love to have another top 100 pick. We would like to have 9 or 10 total picks in each draft the next couple of years. We view this as a multi-year rebuild. We want to build through the trenches first. We're not going to be afraid to move around in the draft. We want to add value. Like, these are the things that maybe we've kind of lost sight of a little bit that we should pay more attention to now, because I don't know how you can look at that list. Again, I'm not sure whether or not those players in particular are the ones they're looking at drafting. But if you're looking in that range of players so much, you flew 15 guys in from around the country to talk to them in that range, you have to at least be thinking you're going to be getting somehow back into the third round. And I think there are a couple of different ways they can do that, but the easiest would be to trade back from 35.
And just so everybody knows, for reference, they have the second round pick, third in the round, which is 35th, and then not until the first and the fourth round, which is 103rd overall. So almost half of those players you mentioned are where they don't even exist right now. The Titans don't even exist. And to your point, this regime was very adamant about, and I think this is why the whole trade back from the first round pick has become such a conversation, such a thing, is because they were so adamant about, we will build this franchise through the draft. And that is what has failed this franchise previously. And when we were talking Super Bowl, I had all those numbers talking about the Eagles and what they had been able to do through the draft. Their 4 first rounders, first, second round, first, third round pick, all drafted 2021 or later. That's how they built their team. And it just made me think back over and over to what Borgonzi and everybody said about how they want to build a franchise through the draft, So to your point, you would assume trading that second round 35th pick would be able to get them back into the third round.
Yeah, we saw the 35th pick last year traded. I mean, we had the literal 35th pick traded last year. It was the Cardinals had the pick traded back with the Falcons, who moved up for the defensive lineman out of Clemson, Rook or Horhoro, who has kind of not been great so far. But they traded up. Great name, who I took a while to learn.
Yes.
And he's not panned out so far in the NFL. I hope that he does, so I get to say it more often. But they moved up from like the 50-ish pick and the 80-ish pick. And so, long story short, the Cardinals moved back from 35 and got something in the 50s and something in the 80s. And I think that would be a dream for the Titans if they could do it. I had a conversation at the Combine with one of the guys in the front office. And, there are things, you have these conversations throughout the draft cycle, and there are certain moments that kind of just stick in your brain. And probably the one for me on this topic was from that conversation. I asked him point blank, do you feel like you have to get back into the top 100 somehow to add a pick in the top 100? And again, this was in February. This is when things were still very up in the air and hypothetical, and it's a lot more real now. So who knows what's actually possible, right? You have to have a partner to dance with. But his answer was, a pause, and then, yeah, kind of a moment of felt like transparency to me. And maybe he was just totally pulling my leg. You never know. But it felt like, hey, like this is something that we are really focused on early in this draft process. Can we get back into the top 100? Because, I mean, after they address quarterback, obviously, in the first round, we all know they have two really massive glaring needs they're going to have to address somehow in running or in wide receiver and in edge, which when you look at not to be, super nerd on you here, but when you look at the production in their rookie years from those positions on day three, I off the top of my head, it's like 11% of day three wide receivers get to 500 yards in their first year, and 7% of day three edge rushers record 3 or more sacks.
Wow.
It's not good. And sometimes they pan out, and there's the 7 and the 11% that you can hit on, but you just can't bank on addressing those positions on day three. So the stakes are really high for them to find a way with only one other top 100 pick to address those two really glaring needs.
And a big difference in those percentages from day three over to day two.
Huge.
Easton Freeze with us at Easton Freeze on X. He is with A to Z Sports, among other things. And when we come back, we'll talk about maximizing a Levis trade. I want to talk about that with you guys. We'll do that next. 3HL potential on 104.5 The Zone.
Want to tell you about the Zen Sports app. Getting a major upgrade soon. So April 28th, it will shut down, and then it is going to be launched into the new state-of-the-art VIP Play app, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to bet on more than 200 sports leagues, parlay every single bet offered, and all the talent here in Tennessee, your sports talk show hosts, will have their own special same-game parlays and what they're betting on featured. You can jump in on those. Head to zensports.com/VIP play. You can learn more and claim an early welcome bonus offer on VIP Play when it launches later this month. Use Dawn TN, DAWN as your offer code, and they'll take care of you. You definitely want to get in on this new Zen Sports app and VIP Play when it launches. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Got to be 21 and older and present in Tennessee to bet.
What's happening, y'all? Do you ever thought about what happens when you have a collision with a hang-up? Like if somebody just hangs up on you while you're driving and all of a sudden that distracts you in a truck, just boom, you get a little fender bender with a truck and your car is not able to be rolling around anymore. You're probably thinking like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this money from this? Well, that's where Bart Dorm injury law comes in. 80,000-pound truck collides with the regular car. Not a fair fight. Not at all. What else isn't a fair fight? That's you versus the insurance companies. You better believe trucking companies have teams of lawyers working to pay you as little as possible. That's where Bart Durham injury law comes in. Blair Durham and the team, they know how to take on trucking companies, and they fight for the compensation that you deserve. been standing up for people in the community for decades, making sure big corporations don't get away with cutting corners. So 615-242-9000, that's the number you need to call. Get Blair and the team with Bart Durham Injury Law, protecting the injured, fighting for what's right because you deserve to be paid. Put them on the case now.
HL 1045, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slade is NFL Draft Week. Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports in studio with us. All right, are they going to unload Will Levis? Are they going to be able to unload Will Levis during the draft?
They want to. And Levis is, his team would like that as well. I mean, like, I don't know why we have to tiptoe around this anymore. It's what's best for the team and for Will. Like,
that's right. As
somebody that is has been and still is actively rooting for his success because he's a good guy. He has been very helpful to us in the media his time here. He just needs a change of scenery, and everybody understands that. And so that's something that
a fresh start.
That's right, and it's something that's going to happen sooner or later. And I would imagine that sooner would be ideal because I think that you can capitalize on this moment, as in this week, if you find the right dance partner. And I think you could leverage the fact that we're currently looking at a group of quarterbacks after Cam Ward that is seen as deeply uninspiring. Use that against somebody that's looking to, they're in that market for a third or a fourth or a fifth round quarterback, and give them that choice of, would you rather spend your fourth round pick on Riley Leonard, or would you rather pick swap, with us and take Will Levis, who has demonstrated that he has he has every physical skill. He's way more physically talented than all of the quarterbacks in this class from a pure, well, maybe not Jalen Milroe, but we know what that story is. He is the rest of them besides Jalen Milroe. He is more physically talented than all of them, in my opinion. What he has shown,
the arm talent is there.
Yes, and he's a big kid, and he's
physical. The body,
yes.
He looks like an NFL quarterback.
It's just between the ears.
I was sold on him.
Sure, so was I. It's just between the ears.
Absolutely sold on him coming into camp.
He needs the game to speed up for him to be an NFL quarterback.
The other thing is that we all understand the level of ego involved in the NFL and how guys are like, I can fix it.
100%.
So
and pre-draft pedigree follows guys too, right? I mean, how many times have you heard former first-round pick traded, and then it's like, oh, this is the worst player in the league? Like, but he got what for that? Kenny Pickett is being traded twice in 2 years for a fourth-round pick, a third-round pick swap, and then what was it this year? A fifth rounder and a quarterback in return. Like, it's crazy. He's not good at football. We all understand this, but who cares? The teams are willing to take a swing on him anyways.
So, what is Will Levis worth?
Right. So I went back and I looked at every quarterback trade that has been made since the Aaron Rodgers trade from Green Bay to the Jets, which was, 3 years ago now? Mm-hmm. And that was obviously a big trade that involved a bunch of pieces. But every trade since then, I think there have been 14 or 15 of them. And kind of...
I didn't realize there had been that many.
Well, it's a lot of more lower-level guys you've kind of forgotten about. It's like, Josh Dobbs was traded twice. We kind of forget about that. But there have been a number. I mean, Kenny Pickett is the guy that sticks out as the I think most apples to apples comparison to me.
Yep.
And it is helpful that he has been traded twice in there, so there's like a double sample size. And so based on the past 14 or 15 quarterback trades, I think it is, and people have laughed in my face when I've told them this, but it's just the reality of a quarterback in the NFL, man, especially for a guy that had borderline first round pedigree coming out. And there were plenty of teams that had him on their board as a first round draft. Yes. We know that many teams tried to trade back into the first round to go and draft him. I think it's reasonable to say his ultimate value is somewhere between a mid fourth round pick and a mid sixth round pick, just depending on, I don't know, the specifics of it. Like, I'm not going to pretend I know any more narrow than that. And so that's why in the piece that I wrote, I think you could get a pick for him straight up and just get a fourth or a fifth round pick. Again, leveraging that against a team. But if I was the Titans, I would be trying really hard to use Levis as the way to get back into the top 100, which sounds like a dream, I guess, on paper, or not on paper, but when I say it out loud for the first time. We saw Kenny Pickett traded for a third and fourth round pick swap, including a couple of sevenths, so even more value than that. But when you look at the opportunity, I think for a couple of teams have multiple third round picks, multiple picks in that third, fourth round range, and they're kind of quarterback needy in that range of, we could use a developmental guy or a backup guy, somebody that we want on the team from a value standpoint, but we don't need him to start right away. There are 8-9 teams like that I identified in an article at A to Z, which people can go check out. But I don't think it's crazy at all to think that the Titans could convince a team, again, say, hey, you could use your third round pick right now on Will Howard, or you could, instead of using that pick and no longer being able to use that pick on another player, trade that pick down to a fourth or a fifth round pick, which the Titans have 2 of in each of those rounds. Swap it with us. Let us have your third. So you're basically just downgrading the pick, still able to use the pick a couple of picks later on a different position or whatever, and you get Will Levis in return. Like, it's not, we've seen it happen. I don't think it's crazy. If I was the Titans, I would be trying to, and make it, you could make it small. The Titans have 103. They have 120. Convince a team to, swap 120 and 89 or something. That's valuable to the Titans. That gets you back into the range that they're looking to get into. And so, I mean, I think that they are doing that, and I think there's a pretty decent chance he's traded in the next calendar week. And if he's not, I think it's not for lack of trying.
That makes sense. Well, and you can argue now we're in it, right? We have watched every single bonehead move of Will Levis over the season, but you can make the argument outside of this franchise. Hey, look, he just needs a fresh start.
Yes.
He had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, lost pretty much his weapons, right? Didn't have a whole lot of weapons. Defense struggled on the other side of the ball. Like, you could go through the list of, if you take like 3, 4, 5 bonehead decisions out of it from Will Levis, that he could be a decent quarterback.
And maybe those things get eradicated with simple maturity, right?
Exactly.
And the other thing is, I think some of the teams that you identify in your piece, again, A to Z Sports with Eastern Freeze, I think a lot of these dudes would rather put someone in that has experience taking snaps in NFL game, no matter what those snaps look like.
Yeah.
As opposed to some fourth-round rookie.
From some of
right. So
mistakes.
if their starting quarterback goes down, they're not putting a mid-round rookie guy out there. They're putting someone out there that actually has game reps.
I think Don's point is spot on, because how many times have we seen? I don't know. You just as a fan base, as a media core, and I think as a team, coaches, front office, like I say this all the time. I think that the average fan vastly underestimates the difference between them and the players, and probably overestimates the difference between them and the people making decisions. I think that even though they try not to get sucked into this kind of thing, they do inside the building. And with players that have a lot of promise, you just get burnt out on them, right? As a group. And so with somebody, the most recent example I can think of is Nicholas Petit-Frere, right? The Titans cut him last week, whenever it was. And I saw all over Twitter from people that I respect, covering different teams, talking about how, hey, former 3rd-round pick, 5-star, college pedigree, wouldn't hate taking a swing here, which to us sounds hilarious, sounds crazy, right? But when you're not burnt on a guy and you're still kind of viewing it from afar, and you're just looking at the numbers on the page, and you don't know what the team has been through with that guy, you're not burnt on him yet. And so as funny as we may think it is, having gone through the trauma of the Will Levis experience the last 18 months, to another fan base, somebody that was really a fan of him coming out of Kentucky or whatever it may be, or it's not crazy to think they look at him and say, this is worth a shot. We can fix him, like you said.
So when I think we were kind of all, fan base as a whole, probably all done with Will Levis, right? He needs a fresh start. He needs to go. But listening to the sit down with Brian Callahan, I love Callie because I feel like it's very hard for him to lie.
It is.
You know what I
it's
mean?
not in his nature.
It is not in his nature. He's so transparent. It is refreshing, all the things, and we better enjoy it while we can, because it's going to go away at some point. But the 90-minute sit down with Callahan, where he kind of talked about everything. I mean, after we listened to that, we talked about that on this show. It was like, he's done with Levis.
He's done.
He is absolutely done. And I thought, was it to you very transparent in that? Because he would kind of like sugarcoat things, but what he was saying was, he's not doing what I need him to do.
His skill set doesn't match what we want to do offensively.
That's what made him hard to coach.
Exactly. Listening to that, I was like, okay, he needs a fresh start. They're done.
Yes, and that ties into a piece I'm running later on A to Z Sports about the most common question I've gotten since we've kind of all collectively realized, okay, Cam Ward's going to be the pick. The question I keep getting is, okay, well, Easton, what do you think? Is Cam Ward a worthy first overall pick, or are the Titans taking him because he's the best quarterback in a bad quarterback class and they need to take one, which is, I think, a fair question.
Yep.
And the crux of the piece that I'm going to run later is that going back to that conversation with Callahan and listening to him talk about what they were looking for in the next quarterback, which a lot of it was kind of, I know you guys talked about at the time, kind of a subtweet of Will Levis, like, here are all the things we're looking for in a guy. And, if you've watched Levis at all, you know that, these are the exact opposite of the things that Will Levis does.
Exactly.
So I think back to that, and, we know, to put my reporter hat on for a second, we know going into the combine that they were actively entertaining trade offers. They had a pretty. They got down the road with it on the Giants front at the combine. I think Adam Schefter today was talking about how there were specific picks involved. Even they were starting to really hammer out what it would really look like. Mm-hmm. And they met with Cam for the first time at the Friday or Saturday of the combine week, so near the end. And I was told that they went into that meeting with really high expectations, and they still managed to come away really blown away with him as a person, as a magnetic personality in the room, as a leader, as a player on the whiteboard, as a football mind. And I think that the selling point, this is not all of it, right? Like, they've watched his tape, they've done the due diligence, they've talked to people behind the scenes at Miami. They think that he's a worthy first overall pick based on the things on paper. But I think the thing that really made them fall in love with him and go from we're entertaining trade offers to you better send us your kingdom, right? We don't even want to talk to you anymore, which that happened that after the combine, that switch flipped. They quit talking about it after they met him for the first time, and then again, they had him in for the whole day that following Friday. After that, they were not really entertaining trade offers from that point on. I think the thing that did it for him was that he has all of those things. They think he has all of those things that they were looking for in terms of the nervous system, in terms of, between the ears, somebody that we see this all the time with NFL teams. When something bad happens, they tend to swing sometimes all the way in the other direction with a new coach or a new GM, and with a quarterback like Levis, sometimes it's healthy and sometimes it's not. I think they healthily said, we are done with guys that sink in the big moments. We want a guy that is going to leap out of the water and excel in the high leverage spots. We want somebody that is going to rise to the occasion, and the game's going to slow down for them the way that it does for an example that Callahan used in that interview was Jaden Daniels, the way that it seems like the game almost gets easier for him when the stakes are higher. And that's way easier said than done, finding somebody like that. You can't teach that. But when you think you've identified that in a prospect in the draft, you kind of have to go get it, because you just can't. They don't grow on trees. You can't teach it. You either have it or you don't. It's that it factor. And I think when they met the person, when they got inside his head and evaluated his nervous system, as Brian Callahan referred to it, they said, "Oh, this guy has exactly what we're looking for between the ears," and that's what's made them really fall in love with him.
Nothing phases him. I got to work the Syracuse-Miami game, right?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, this is like sitting there watching him where your entire season's on the line. They knew they lost that game. They're not making it into the college football
It's probably
playoff.
his best game of this past year.
Yeah. And he wasn't losing his head.
Not once. Like, I think I actually did a report saying meant for these moments, ice water in the veins, like no shift from any other time in the game. No, I almost wanted a little more emotion out of him. These guys know me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
come on, let me see something.
He plays football with like a resting heart rate of 65. It shows.
Seriously, zero emotion, but teams still responded. All those things. So that tracks from what you're saying there.
And for better and for worse, it's what they're looking for right now. Like, it's the in vogue thing in the Titans building is, let's get that. Let's swing the opposite of what just made us pull our hair out last year, all year long. At the very least, let's fix this thing about the quarterback position. And they think that they're about to.
So before you get out of here, wide receiver. If they stick a pick at 35 and their number one receiver is and number one edge rusher is still on the board or whatever, at that point, they go receiver or edge rusher?
I mean, if it's literally apples to apples and on their board,
Like
it's
their
like
top
we have
players
these guys
left are
braided the
receiver and
same.
edge. Yeah.
Right. I mean, history tells us they go receiver. If you look at the past 5 draft classes, every team that has taken the top quarterback in that class has taken a really big swing on quarterback. All of them have made their next pick after picking that quarterback a receiver besides one. It was, so it's like Caleb Williams.
That makes sense.
Right. They took Williams at 1, the Bears did last year, and then they took Roma Dunze at 9. We saw, this is out of order, but we saw Joe Burrow at 1 and then T. Higgins in the second. We saw Bryce Young in the first, and then somebody who's totally, I'm blanking on in the second, who hasn't quite worked out, obviously. We saw the Jaguars take Trevor Lawrence, and they had just reset the entire wide receiver market with the Christian Kirk deal, and they spent a ton of money there. And then whoever I'm forgetting. Oh, Kenny Pickett in the first, and they took George Pickens with their next pick in the second. So 5 years running, this has been the way that it's worked. And it makes sense, right? Like, you get a new quarterback, you want to give him as many shiny toys as possible. So I think they'd go receiver. It's just, that's like in theory, right? In reality, I don't know. I mean, I certainly think it's possible. I think the fan base has maybe convinced themselves that receiver is a really real possibility there if they stick at 35. When I just look at the board, I mean, the edge class is easily the better group. I think that there are, when you just do the math on it, bound to be one or two guys at edge there at 35 who in other lesser classes would be first-round picks. And at receiver, if Emeka Egbuka is somehow there, he's not going to be. I know there are some people that would throw themselves across the table in the Titans building to go and get him. Like, if he's there, it will be Emeka Egbuka. I'll go ahead and predict that one. He's not going to be. So then it becomes Luther Burden, who they've done a lot of work with. There's a lot of questions about. Mm-hmm. If I had to guess today, I think Luther Burden is going to be available at 35, and I think he's going to be available again at 36, and it's going to make some people's heads explode. And I'm not looking forward to that part of it because I think it's going to happen. And then you've got the Iowa State kids and Jalen Knoll and Jaden Higgins, who there's a lot of mixed, but I think both of those guys are firmly in the mix. Outside of that kind of group, I don't know what receiver I don't think that they would take Kyle Williams out of Washington State at 35. I think that's a little rich for them. They like him a lot. I just don't think they'd do it there.
They had him in, right?
They had him in.
Yeah.
And he has a fun highlight reel online with Cam Ward. Those two have a connection. Nick Holtz was his coach when they were both at UNLV a couple years ago. So there's connections in the building to him, and they like him. I just don't think at 35, again, there's going to be guys at edge like Landon Jackson, James Pierce. I mean, there's
Slade loves Landon.
Yeah, there's a chance that somebody like Donovan Ezeraku is still there. I mean, that entire group of second-ish round edge rushers, there's like 6 or 7 of them who all of them feel really safe and really effective, like immediate impact. Maybe they never become your star number one edge, but this guy's going to be a player for you for a long time and be really useful. And so unless they are in love with the receiver, which they may be, and I just don't know. But I don't think Egbuka is going to be there for him. I don't think that they're in love with Luther Burden personally. So I just don't know who the guy would be that they'd fall in love with at 35. I still think they really want to trade it. I mean, again, back to where we started the conversation, right? I think that the easiest way for them to get more picks in the top 100 is to just trade that pick. And the last thing I'll say, if you've read the reports today from Adam Schefter and Todd McShay and all the beginning of the draft week buzz, we're pouring over all these insider articles. Everybody's talking about how after Cam Ward, the group of the next 4-ish quarterbacks are all kind of seen as, I think the way Adam Schefter put it was, it's more likely that we see one quarterback in the first round than 3 quarterbacks in the first round. He thinks there may be more quarterbacks taken in the first 8 picks of round 2 than are taken in all of round 1. And so if you get to the beginning of day 2 and the Titans are the 3rd pick on the board at 35,
you've got value.
And all 4 of quarterbacks 2 through 5 are on the board, and none of the other quarterback needy teams, the Giants, the Browns, the Saints, the Steelers, none of those guys have pulled the trigger yet. And you've got the Giants and the Browns right in front of you. They may go quarterbacks to a second round. Well, suddenly you've got the best non-quarterback that slipped out of the first round falling into your lap at 35, and you've got all the leverage again. You're the team that's in charge, in the driver's seat at the beginning of the second round like you were at the beginning of the first round. That's the dream for them. I texted somebody in the building on the way here and said, is this going to happen? And they said, we sure hope so.
Easton Freeze, A to Z Sports.
Wait, why did you say your head would explode when you said Luther Burden?
I think a lot of people love Luther Burden, and when they don't take him, when he's there for him and they don't take him, I think my head's not going to explode because I understand the risk.
Titans fans will.
Yes,
okay.
A lot of fans' heads are going to explode because he's an exciting player, but there's a reason why a lot of teams have had him in for visits, and they're not quite sure about what he offers, from Monday to Saturday.
Which
tough.
that report was out
That's
there.
tough,
I
yeah.
said
all out
that
there.
is the worst
Yeah, you
thing
don't
that
want
can
that to
be
be
said
tagged, yeah.
about you as a professional athlete. It's the worst.
Where do you come down on the idea that they might be in the business of moving Big Jeff?
I was told in the same conversation with somebody in the front office at the combine. Again, this is months ago, so things change in a hurry in the NFL. I was told, this was said kind of flippantly, but they were like, I think the only player on our roster right now with any real value is Jeff. and they said that kind of stinks because we're not going to move him. That was February. And, I don't know. Again, that could have been a total lie. I'm a reporter. You can tell me whatever you want. I'm liable to believe it. Actually, cut that out. Don't say it. Don't put that on there.
We'll do it live.
I don't think they want to do. I mean, I think it would take somebody coming to them, not them shopping him around, and it being an offer that they really think is a plus value. I will say, I've heard from some people on this station, kind of some allusions to the idea that maybe there's some contract stuff with Jeff. Not anything big, but like they may be kind of working on that. And I don't know. That would, if they did end up moving him all of a sudden, I would be suddenly very suspicious that there were things going on in the background. And I don't want to make it out like Jeff's some diva on this, but if it came out that he was wanting more money, I would understand it. Because he's somebody that is in year, 4 or 5 now. He's staring down the middle and the end of his prime.
We've had this conversation.
He's looking at a team who, again, has openly said, the new group has openly said, we think this is a 2 or 3 or 4 year rebuild. And he's probably saying to himself, I'm making great money,
but I'm miserable.
But if I want to give, the prime of my football career to a team that's in a 3 or 4 year rebuild, that may never, teams can be in rebuilds that are 3 or 4 years on paper, and then it becomes a decade long. They're just
then they're the Browns.
Wandering the desert. Yeah. If I was him, I would also be saying, man, maybe make it worth my while to stick around here. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just saying if it was, I would kind of get it. And they may say, well, you know what? Go. We'll trade you to a contender, and we'll just kind of reset. So I don't know. To answer your ultimate question, I don't think they're going to trade him. But
going into year 7, Big Jeff.
Into year 7. See, time flies, man.
But you say if someone came to them, like, what if Big Jeff came to them?
That's what I was going to say.
And then,
maybe it's changed since you talked to them that he said, hey, yo, Miss Amy.
Yeah, I can see the Titans saying,
and that's why I'm not committing to anything, because that was 2 months ago, and things change in a hurry in the NFL. I'm not trying to spread rumors. I'm just saying.
No.
On a scale of 0 to 10 in terms of interest, I'm at like a 3 or a 4, and it's started to climb a little bit. I still think ultimately that he's on the team, that the Titans don't want to trade him. And it would take a really big offer for them to move off.
And maybe we end up revisiting this topic next offseason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
Where can people consume your work?
Yeah, A2ZSports.com, A to Z Sports on YouTube. I'm, talking and writing and doing things all week long. Don't ask me when and where, because it's just somebody will text me and then I'll say, sure, I'll come do the radio today. And why not? Let's do it.
I love it.
So it was a blast. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in. We'll do this again.
Dewey Cheatham and House said Easton is a terrific guest.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate you.
We agree.
Somebody else said, inject this into my veins. So, yeah.
It's way nicer than my own audience. They give me crap every morning on the morning show over at A2Z.
I love it, man. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Guys, it was a pleasure.
All right, more 3HL coming up. Stay tuned. 104.5 The Zone. We'll tell you about my friends at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Go see Daniel Gupton and his crew. Let them know what you're looking for, and they will help you out. They will get you in that test drive, and then you'll go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it'll be that easy. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Check them out. I've bought multiple vehicles from those guys. They're awesome people. to deal with. And after the buying process as well, their service department is impeccable, and they'll get anything and everything done for you. They'll let you know when you need tire rotation, oil change, all those things with a quick text, and you'll be ready to go. Check them out online. GuptonMotors.com is the website. All the dealership information is there. All the deals they have going on in April right there. They've got employee pricing going on. So check that out. GuptonMotors.com. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
What's happening, man? You out there looking for watches? Well, watch this. You see that little play on words? That's the kind of stuff, deals and extraordinary opportunities that you would get with style, grace at BrentwoodJewelry.com. Yeah, I put a little spin on that, a little updated spin on it. But one thing that remains the same is the quality. Yeah, you're always going to get it at BrentwoodJewelry.com. 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, right there off of Franklin Road. Engagements. You got that on your docket? Well, let's check the box. First, ask your partner how involved they want to be. That's one. 2, discuss the expectations, not just what style of the ring or cut of diamond. Talk about the expectations like the proposal. Brandon and the family help you get through all of this. See, it's listen, I'm giving you the game, people. If she wants to be involved, stop by Brentwood Jewelry to browse for rings together and valuable feedback. If she wants to be surprised, start a conversation to get some essential details like ring size and so forth and so on. BrentwoodJewelry.com, people.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Appreciate Easton Freeze hopping on.
Real good stuff.
And coming in studio. Always prefer that. But
Yeah, that's the first time we've had him in.
guess who's coming in tomorrow?
Who?
He will be making the announcement on Friday, theoretically, if they do pick in the second round. Keith Bullock,
The bully.
two-time All-Pro.
Oh,
He'll be in studio
what
at 4
if they
o'clock.
trade out of that pick and don't have a second round pick?
There's not a lot of talk about Green
Hey.
Bay hosting this thing. Have y'all heard a lot of talk about that?
Early on,
I've
but it's
heard
kind of died
people
down
pissed
lately.
about it.
Yeah.
Because somebody asked me last week, like, where's the draft? And I was like, oh,
Green Bay, yeah.
yeah, that's a great question.
It is not an
Green
easy
Bay.
place to get to. There's not a whole lot of hotels and places to stay. It was an interesting choice.
Yeah, I've been there. It's interesting. I mean, well, we went for a Sunday night game and it was Bears Packers, so that's a whole different thing. You always hear about people talking about how like you're just driving through a residential area and then boom, there's a stadium. That is so true.
So
It's just
true.
a bunch of ranch houses and then here's a big ass stadium.
Like San Antonio? Nothing to do?
I would think that there's way less to do in Green Bay.
Really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have heard from a couple of people on Twitter that are going, like Titans fans that are going.
Yeah, you put it out there that we were doing the show and all this stuff, and this one guy was like, "Yeah, we're going. There's 5 of us.
All that cheese up there? Nothing to do?
Cheese and beer.
Cheese curds, baby.
They love cheese curds. I just don't like the word curd.
Yeah, like what is that? Like a Cheeto
They're
puff?
they're like little cheese balls, fried. You know.
But it's all, the whole cheese is not hollow like a Cheetos puff.
Right, it's got cheese inside.
Boo.
No, not boo.
Yeah.
I love how you've gone to the boo lately.
I think it's overrated.
What's overrated? Cheese curds?
Yeah. Give me a cheese puff.
Well, I mean, you can get that at Publix.
Bingo.
You don't have to go to Green Bay.
Hey, hello.
Zach Lyons will also join us tomorrow to talk about his 400-page draft guide.
Zachary Lyons.
So Zach Lyons at 3, Keith Bullock at 4 in studio. And I said, stay as long as you want. He said, I'll be there at 4 and we'll see how it goes.
But that's how I used to do our Friday shows. Remember when we were out on the dock on the bay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jim Wyatt sometime tomorrow?
At some point, Jim White.
Jimothy White.
I mean, it is NFL draft week, y'all.
It is. It's time to get geeked. It's draft week.
I need some more stuff for the 3HL bingo card at 545.
Want me to think of something to give you?
No, it has to be organic through the course of the show.
That's usually how it happens.
I mean, Bab said I'm a swindler, not a swinger.
I mean, pretty good right there, Babs.
That's all I've got so far. If you want to watch the show live, you can. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
I thought Easton gave us some really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel about trading back at 35, as he mentioned, into the 50s to pick up another top 100 pick? Let's talk about when we come back. 615-737-1045.
Chris Lowe's up next.
Oh, Chris Lowe is up next. Thank you, Zeph.
You're welcome.
He's
job,
usually
Zeph.
on at 5:20. That's why that escaped me. Okay, we'll do that at 5:20. We'll talk about moving off that pick number 35. When we come back, Chris Lowe will join us, and we'll talk about Nico officially to UCLA. What does Tennessee do in the transfer portal with regard to quarterback? Is it a straight swap? And get into a pretty big basketball commitment as well. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Big announcement from our friends at Two Rivers Ford. It's all about employee pricing, and it's all about employee pricing for absolutely everyone. That coming from Two Rivers Ford. You pay what they pay on almost every new Ford on the lot, and at Two Rivers Ford, what you see is always what you get. They don't add on expensive accessories or tack on service packages. anything like that to increase the price of their vehicles. Two Rivers Ford, upfront and honest every single time. And now they are offering you employee pricing. No better time to buy American and no better dealership than Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. And of course, home of the non-commissioned sales team. They are just there to help you and they are phenomenal. And of course, now the home of employee pricing for everyone from America for America. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Hey, everybody. PAI Medical, Babsy. WeGrowHair.com. I'm talking to the people out there that had the little sunroof opening up and didn't want that to happen anymore. You can go fix it. Yeah, around your hairline or anything that may be happening. It's time to get on top of it. All you got to do is hit this number up, 615-376-6010. You got that? Let's try it again. 615-376-6010. That right there, people, will get you right in touch with PAI Medical, and you set up your consultation, which is free, by the way. Go on and get on top of that. No one else in Tennessee has an ARTIS robotic FUE procedure, and We Grow Hair's high-density hair transplants that give you 2 times more hair in one procedure, and fast 45-minute laser and PRP treatments for men and women. So now you understand how you can get in there, get some work done, get on out of there, all while getting your hair to grow. Yeah, real simple. Backed by the only company that you should trust with thinning hair. That's We Grow Hair, 615-376-6010, PAI Medical.
Good evening. It is 5:03. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. The Tennessee Titans are scheduled to have a pre-draft press conference tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Central Time. Mike Bergonzi, Brian Callahan, and Chad Brinker will all speak. You can catch it right here on The Zone at the start of Cover 2. In Tennessee football news, the Vols and former App State and UCLA quarterback Joey Aguilar are expected to meet later today about potentially joining the Vols, according to Chris Lowe on ESPN, who will join 3HL in just a moment. Aguilar, who transferred to UCLA in the winter, entered the portal today after UCLA got a commitment from former Vols quarterback Nico Iamaleava. Aguilar has 1 year of eligibility left and threw for 6,760 yards and 56 touchdowns in 2 years as the starter at App State. Tulane and Wake Forest are also in the mix. For your foundation repair, whatever needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone, 5 o'clock hour. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. Hope you're having a great Monday. I guess A.J. Brown got his car back. They found it in New Jersey.
I guess so. Do we know what kind of car it was?
I don't.
Let me look up.
It's got to be something really cool for him to, like, not just write it off and get another one.
There we go. A.J. Brown car stuff. Oh, stolen Mercedes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was a Merc.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you used to have a Mercedes back in the day?
Yeah. Nice one.
Remember I told you I saw you in Subway one time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't even say hi.
Yeah, well, shame on you, Yor.
Idiot.
Yeah, why would you just...
Well, because I was walking
Just
away.
look
I
at
already
me.
had my sandwich, and you were going inside, so I didn't want to buy.
That was going to be a good sandwich. I ain't ate Subway in so long.
Yeah, you were back from Europe.
Yeah, that was my go-to over there. Shout out Potbelly.
Now you just pull up and they make it before you even get in there.
That's right. They know what time it is.
Chris and them.
And my people.
So we found out that April 28th is National Superhero Day.
So should we dress up as superheroes?
Oh, when is that? That's Monday?
Yep, Monday. Next Monday.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for that.
What? You got to
To
be a
find a
superhero,
costume and
dog.
everything? Here's a superhero. Chris Lowe with ESPN.com.
He is a superhero.
Joins us now. CeeLo, what's up? How are you?
Low dog.
Hey guys, what's who's everybody's favorite superhero? That's an easy one for me, Spider-Man.
Really, Low?
Oh, that's
Oh yeah, huge Spider-Man guy.
You know who mine is?
Captain America.
Nah, you in the right direction a little bit, though, but by the power of Grayskull, He-Man.
He-Man.
Ah.
I was a He-Man guy.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I can find a little outfit like that and come in here with that on.
Yeah.
The
See, I'm so old.
My chest.
I'm so old. I remember the cartoon Spider-Man. Every day you get home from school,
I loved that Spider-Man.
the cartoon Spider-Man. He's like showing building to building on the webs. But that was my go-to cartoon after school when I was a kid.
I loved the Black Falcon. Bless you. But he was hardly ever on the Super Friends, so maybe that's why I liked him. I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I don't.
What was yours,
Who are
Beth?
the female ones? I don't even know. She-Ra back in the day.
She-Ra was cold-blooded.
She was, yeah.
Wonder Twins.
She
One of them was a
was.
female.
They used to ride in that little imaginary airplane.
I mean, Wonder Woman is like the
Invisible airplane. around.
That's a number.
quintessential female superhero.
Chris, so it's
a good
officially
conversation.
official. Nico Iamaleava to UCLA, and is it going to cost him money?
Well, I mean, yeah, especially when you start talking about the taxes out there.
Mm-hmm.
You think about just the mere how much more you're going to be taxed. But yeah, I mean, he's not going to get what he did at Tennessee. He's certainly not going to get what he was asking for at Tennessee. Now, there may be a part of it, talking to some people close to him, that being back on the West Coast, that he's at a peace with that. His family, I think, is good with that. They get to see him. You know, you don't have the back and forth travel, and he's at a place that he can be a guy that goes in there. UCLA has not been very good. He can go in there and sort of help take that program up. Now, I don't think he's got great people around him. I don't think he's got a great supporting cast there. But certainly he's got a chance to elevate that program and be the guy that everybody points to and says, hey, he came into UCLA when UCLA was not that great and helped get the program back to being nationally relevant again.
Yeah, that's a tough situation, man. I hope it turns out well for him. But, man, that situation was not handled well.
No, it wasn't. And I think it's not we talked about this last week. It wasn't that and let's just call it what it is. Nico wasn't driving this. This was his camp, his dad, his reps. They were the ones that were driving this. Now, I'm not saying that Nico, he's what is Nico 20, that he shouldn't have had a say or didn't have a say, but he was not driving this train. And anybody who's been around him, around that program for the last 2 years, will tell you the same thing. I do agree that it wasn't handled great, but he's not the first. He won't be the last that tries to renegotiate a deal after he plays a season. And they're all kids are already doing it. It's the fact this got public, it went public, and then he missed practice. That's and ghosted everybody. That's when it all went south. And I believe, having worked on this, we got a story running the next day or two, sort of how we got to this point. I believe that he never was coming back. I believe that was sort of the plan. He was not going to be back at Tennessee in this fall. That one way or the other, he's going to be getting into the portal. And you know what? Had he gone to practice on Friday and participated in the spring game on Saturday, and then told people at Tennessee, "Hey, I'm getting to the portal," or here's one more chance for us to sit down at the negotiating table and give me what I want. And Tennessee says no. All right, when I'm getting in the portal, I really believe our conversation would be a lot different right now. I really do. That doesn't mean Tennessee fans wouldn't be upset. That doesn't mean that that there still wouldn't be a lot of conversation about this. I just don't think the narrative would be what it is right now, and that he would be, because he and his camp were skewed pretty good, around the country by other coaches, media. I just think that he's done it in a different way. Again, I don't think it's so much what he did, it's how he did it.
Chris Lowe with us from ESPN. So Joey Aguilar, who had gone to UCLA, transferred there to be the quarterback. Now in the portal, where do things stand between him and Tennessee?
Yeah, maybe we have a trade. Aguilar for Iamaleava. Now, Aguilar is not an easy name to say, but it's easy. Iamaleava. I think there's a chance. I mean, I know there was going to be some conversations today, his camp and Tennessee, and I know Tennessee's interested. I think the guys, I know they certainly looked at him and evaluated him. He's played. He has experience. He's put up big numbers at App State. He's from the West Coast originally. He's got 1 year, which is what Tennessee's looking for, a guy to come in and play 1 year. And that's what he has. Because they don't, they got Faison committed, who's a 5-star kid from North Carolina. You don't want to bring in a guy that's got 2 or 3 years. Plus, you got McIntyre sitting there on campus, who just got on campus. They got a lot of money invested in him. So you don't want to bring in somebody, but you certainly want someone who's played, has experience, and Aguilar fits that the bill. The other guy to keep an eye on, and he has not gotten in the portal, and I'm not saying he will get in the portal, but I know Tennessee would certainly have interest if he did, and that's Luke Altmaier in Illinois, who started his career at Ole Miss. His dad was a former team physician at Mississippi State, so he's got some SEC roots there. Had a really good season last year for the Illini. And I don't think they're going to just let him walk, and I think he's happy there. But that's another guy, if you're asking me for guys who could possibly be in play here, the difference is he's not in the portal and Aguilar is.
Yeah, that would be amazing to see how that plays out during the season and how many people would be putting those two right up against each other for comparison, right? Oh, that would be something.
If you're Joey Aguilar, and having talked to people close to the situation, I think he'd love it. I think he'd love to come to Tennessee and show what he could do. And you're right. All year long, Don, you're going to be all right. Nico did this today at UCLA. Aguilar did this today at Tennessee. And who had the most success, who could elevate their team the most. That would be an ongoing story throughout the season. So, yes, if that plays out that way, then who knows? I mean, we still got 4 days. The portal closes Friday. And remember this, too. You only have to get in the portal before Friday. You don't have to make a decision. So let's say, hypothetically, and again, I'm not suggesting Altmaier's going to get in the portal. Let's say he decides he's going to get in the portal on Thursday. Well, as long as he's in the portal before that window closes, my understanding is he's in it. And then he can sort of take whatever time he needs to decide where he's going to go to school. Most schools like to have that done because you sort of got to have your numbers. And then I haven't even mentioned Jake Merklinger, who's a redshirt freshman at Tennessee. Where is he in all this? Does he ask for more money? I'd say that there's a chance that might happen because if you're his representative, and I think he did just recently change agents, you sort of see the position that Tennessee's in right now.
Oh, you have leverage. There's no question.
Yeah. Bizarre.
Absolutely you do. And do you capitalize on it? So it's a dicey situation. I know Tennessee's been looking hard and trying to figure out what's the best fit for them as far as bringing in a quarterback. But Josh Heupel's smart enough to know, and he said it himself, they got to bring in somebody. There's no way you can go into the season with just a redshirt freshman who's thrown a handful of mop-up passes and a true freshman who they like and is talented in McIntyre. But, probably if he hadn't enrolled early, would probably be going to his prom right now, his high school prom.
That's right.
Crazy. Is there a budget? A cap space
how does
budget
the money
for
work
number of
with
Well, I
Aguilar
don't know
taking money from UCLA and how does all that work?
Well, and the contract's all being written different now, and he was locked up at UCLA. I don't know if they would have to pay him. Of course, if he's in the portal, so that probably all balances out. But the contracts all has sort of been tweaked as we've gotten later into this process with NIL, and everybody's a little bit different. But they're not going to get him for Tennessee wouldn't get him for peanuts, and it's but hey, there's money there, and remember too that the House settlement, the revenue sharing model, hasn't kicked in yet. So a lot of schools are trying to get on the front end of that and front load a lot of this money on the books. But Tennessee has money. Just look what happened in basketball yesterday because they paid $3 million plus to get Amen, and he is a heck of a player, the highest rated player they've ever signed, even higher rated than Ron Slade when they got him out of Oakfield.
Personality, low is what I was selling, not the athleticism and all that. I was selling personality.
All that, not the athleticism and all that.
If you're going to swim in those waters now, whether you hate it, you don't like it, or somewhere in the middle, that's the market. And people will say $3 million for a basketball player. Well, if you want to get a kid of that caliber, who's probably right now, if you ask NBA people, they tell you, he's probably a top 10, top 8 pick right now, then that's what you got to pay. And, it's funny. Coach Barnes has evolved. He's adapted. He understands he has to. But if you're going to get players like that, if you're going to get the Gillespie kid, a point guard, who's one of the top-rated point guards in the portal, the difference here is this kid's a high school kid, and you're still having to pay that kind of cash. But, boy, I know you guys have seen video on him. Mm-hmm. I've talked to people who saw him live at some of the camps this past summer, and they say he is absolutely electric. As far as he's about 6'9", but he plays out front, out top. Mm-hmm. His handle and the way he gets to the basket like he's 6'2" or 6'3".
And he's silky smooth.
And the other part with that, CeeLo, like if you don't want to pay that, when you look around, especially in this league, everybody else is. So you can stand there and try to build up as you will, try to take the Dabo Swinney route, but I don't know if that'll work in basketball.
No, basketball's different because you've got 2 or 3 guys make a huge difference. I mean, even a school like Ole Miss, I give Chris Beard
he putting it together
credit.
Yep.
Yeah, in a school like Ole Miss, they say, all right, we want to continue to build what we did last year. Well, I think their starting 5 all will be guys making around $1 million at Ole Miss. So you're right, Slay, man. If you want to play, brother, you got to pay. And if you want to play at the highest level, and you want to get back, Tennessee wants to get back to Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, one of these days, the Final Four. Again, I use the same cliche. You better be swimming in those waters.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
It's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. But I keep going back in my head about the Tennessee quarterback position. Like, that's going to be really interesting the next few days.
Yeah, and they're trying to be strategic about it. They know that they've got to be aggressive, and there's already been some guys' names out there that there have been conversations. I know it's hard to believe that before a kid gets in the portal that there are conversations that take place. I love to hear people talk about, well, this school's tampering or that school's tampering. Hell, they're all tampering.
Right.
That's why nobody's going to turn anybody in.
Yeah, if you're not tampering, you're probably not trying. And we've seen some names out there.
That's all right. Urban's racing.
That was the old SEC mantra. But the kid at TCU, the Hoover kid, was a kid I think Tennessee had some interest in. But he's not gotten in the portal. But he said no. There's been some others. I've heard Haynes King name at Georgia Tech. I don't think he's necessarily a fit right now for Tennessee. Plus, he's a tough kid, man, but he has been hurt a ton.
Because
career.
he plays tough.
Yeah, he is a tough customer. But there are a lot of names out there. Remember, we still got 3 or 4 days for people to jump in the portal. And, coaches always say, well, you're not going to get this kid or you're not going to get that kid. But sometimes coaches are the last to know.
Yeah.
Before a kid jumps into the portal with the kind of money that's out there. But it's a critical decision. And these next 3 or 4 days, I think, Brent, to your point, will go a long way towards shaping what Tennessee's going to be as a football team next year. I don't think they're going to overpay just to get a warm body in at quarterback, but certainly they got to bring somebody in. And who and how they go about that will be pretty fascinating to watch over the next few days.
Just throw George McIntyre back out there. Not back out there. Throw him out there. Let's go.
Sink or swim.
Yeah, true freshman.
That's a tough
17-year-old.
ask. That's a tough ask for a true freshman, man. But hey, I'll say this: his development and his readiness, and when they're going to need him to play, was expedited tremendously over the next week or so. Because that kid, he needs to have a great summer. And I'm not saying he wouldn't. I mean, everything I know about that kid is top shelf, and clearly he was highly recruited. But he needs to have a big summer because even if you bring somebody in, all right, and you've got 3 guys, you bring somebody in, Merkley stays, and again, I hate to paint doomsday scenarios, but just use last year as an example. How many quarterbacks in the SEC made it through the whole season without missing part of the season, key games, key halves, key play? You're almost always at quarterback in this league in particular. Going to need a couple guys, 2, sometimes more, to get through the season.
Great stuff, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. Low.
At CeeLo ESPN.
All right, guys. See you guys.
All right, there he goes, Chris Lowe. When we come back, what would you do with that 35th pick? Would you trade down to acquire another pick in the top 100? Also, we do have the top 10 college football NIL schools. Also, the top 10, well, there are 10 college basketball programs, not ranked, but there are 10 college basketball programs that have at least $10 million for their 2025-2026 roster. Got that for you as well. Stay tuned, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Windows and doors. Do you need new ones in your home? How about calling Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville? And how about asking for the Dawn deal? Guess what that is? 55% off qualifying installations and no interest if paid in full within 12 months. No promo payments due. Plus, you even get an additional $250 off of your entire project. Yeah, it's the best deal as of late, and Pella's now celebrating 100 years in business this year. So as for the Dawn deal, get them out. Maybe you know that you need to replace your windows. You got bugs coming in the windows, maybe some moisture. Maybe you can tell that when it gets hot, your air is not going to stay in your home, which is what you want. All of those are reasons to go ahead and replace your windows and doors with Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Easy to schedule your free consultation and just go online and ask for the Dawn deal and check out that offer at PellaNashville.com. Launched into the new state-of-the-art VI as your offer.
And y'all, you ever thought about what happens when you have a collision with a hang-up? Like if somebody just hangs up on you while you driving and all of a sudden that distracts you in a truck, just boom, getting a little fender bender with a truck and your car is not able to be rolling around anymore. You're probably thinking like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this money from this? Well, that's where Bart Dorm injury law comes in. 80,000 pound truck collides with the regular car. Not a fair fight. Not at all. What else isn't a fair fight? That's you versus the insurance companies. You better believe trucking companies have teams of lawyers working to pay you as little as possible. That's where Bart Dorm injury law comes in. Blair Durham and the team, they know how to take on trucking companies, and they fight for the compensation that you deserve. Been standing up for people in the community for decades, making sure big corporations don't get away with cutting corners. So 615-242-9000, that's the number you need to call. Get Blair and the team with Bart Dorm injury law, protecting the injured, fighting for what's right because you deserve to be paid. Put them on the case now.
Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned. American made. Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned. American made.
Whether you're a homeowner creating your dream space or a pro managing multiple projects, discover a new way to shop at Ferguson Home, where great ideas become stunning spaces. Ferguson Home is designed for the way you want to shop. Explore the best selection of bath, kitchen, and lighting products online, or experience items firsthand in one of our showrooms. Our experts offer personalized support every step of the way. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Shop top brands like Hinckley or find your local showroom at fergusonhome.com.
Tell 1045 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Welcome to the show. Slay just busts out a laugh.
Babsy, you get all your stuff. What'd you ask, Babsy?
I said, did you get all your weekend stuff? She had a lot of stuff that
On the honey-do list?
Yeah, that she and Mr. Harder. I don't like calling him Mr. Babs.
Just call him Mr. Babs.
Travis had to do. Man, the weather was phenomenal. You know he wanted to be on that golf course.
Well,
But it was early in the
not.
week, though. He went early in the week. He was cool.
He golfed all week.
This is what I'm thinking.
Wow.
Has that ever? Yeah, I mean, Babs.
She came with it
Teams
there.
United on that one. This is what I want to know.
He actually didn't.
Has it ever been a
but it felt
time
like it.
that I would say baby Babs coming? Has it ever been a time that Babs is coming here off the weekend after having that big list and has actually got all of it done?
Right, and that was my question. Did you get all your weekend stuff done? And she was like,
No.
Because I feel like you add to your list as you go.
I do. Yeah.
that weird things happen too. Like
It's an
she's got to
infinity
deal
list.
with, the bird situation with the eggs, and now the bird's back, and there are 2 eggs that survived the snake ordeal.
Oh, listen. Yeah. 2 eggs survived the snake. Like the snake ate 4 of the 6 and then got out of the nest, and I have not found him, which does not make me feel good about anything. But Mr. Babs on his list was to get rid of the bird's nest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he was going to go power wash it out. And I went and looked. Mama Bird was back in there with her 2 remaining eggs. So how about that for your circle of life?
Back in
Yes.
effect.
So yeah, that's a very positive thing. She's concentrating on the 2 that she has, not the 4 that she lost.
Exactly.
Just what I wanted to
So
be.
I made Mr. Babs not park near her now.
But let's shine a
He's
light on
annoyed
this
by
one, though,
that,
Babs.
too.
There's got to be a light shine on this one. What you got to understand is snakes get a little bad rep in this whole situation, but Snake wasn't greedy.
Well, yeah, because if that snake ate all 6 of its eggs, like it couldn't even move.
Well, I probably had the opportunity.
It was probably so full. That's
Yeah.
why I feel like I need to find him to relocate him because I think he might come back.
I don't think snakes overeat. Like I did find out that that an elephant spends 80% of its day eating.
Snake probably hold on a little bit more.
My search history is unbelievable.
Why are you looking up elephant poop?
Because Slay sent a video of a bird's nest, and I thought it was an elephant's butt, but it might have been a rhino.
I'm telling you.
Think of it. My search history: Nico, Tennessee, Bonanza, Wheaton College, Nashville, Murder, Green Hills,
Jeez.
Fishnet, Black Pantyhose lyrics,
His brother's everywhere.
What?
Granny White.
Maybe you
Like
shouldn't
the person.
announce your entire search list.
I am Burning Zeppelin. Remember, I was looking at that because of the Titans.
You
Warm
said that
spell
watch the
of
ship
Scalia's.
go down the whole time.
Yeah. And how often do elephants poop?
But you know what? Real quick, and I'm going to leave the animals alone.
220 pounds a day, elephants.
Yeah, but you say they eat 80% of the day. Let me tell y'all something. As slow as they eating, come on, man. That's going to take all day.
Oh, they do eat slow. You're
You
right.
feel me? They got to grab with the trunk. You know what I mean? The trunk got to unravel into the mouth. The mouth kind of little. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, they're not quick twitchy.
yeah, you ain't never seen no elephant open up his mouth and be like, ooh, that's a big old mouth. Like when you see a lion or something. Come on, man. You know, it's going to take a long time to fill up a big mass up.
Top 10 college football NIL schools. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, Oklahoma. By the way, 7 of these 10 are in the SEC.
Shocker. This is not a surprise.
I love the SEC.
Number 9 is a surprise, which I have a theory about this. Number 9 is Clemson.
That is a surprise.
Isn't it? Because he doesn't get in the portal, really.
But they take care of their own.
They're taking care of their own. So
Somebody
they don't get
had
in the portal.
One of their players had an interview. I forgot. I think it was with the Pivot, and they were asking him like, what are the thoughts about what Dabo does and how he doesn't go into the portal? He was like, man, when I first got recruited here, he pours into you, and he lets you know the way you're gonna do it, and we are well taken care of. So I was like, okay, I see the point. Just as the college landscape was changing, though, it didn't make no sense what Dabo was talking about.
So
But I
it's
get it. He
not-
believed in what he was talking about.
It's not like he hasn't leaned in. He's just leaned in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way. That's all.
Like,
But like he said,
we reward your loyalty with our loyalty.
like the player said too, though, we lost so much, he's going to have to go in the portal this year.
Top 10 college football NIL schools: 10 Oklahoma, 9 Clemson, 8 Florida Gators.
Mm-hmm.
What they win last year? 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 7 Alabama. 6, a non-SEC school.
Ohio State.
There are 2 more.
Ohio State.
Ohio State is one of them. They're not this one.
Dang.
Notre Dame.
Nope.
Mm.
Michigan.
Ah, come on. You got to know that, y'all.
Yeah.
Babs slid it in.
Yeah, come on, Babsy.
Yeah, she got it.
Okay.
Got it.
I give it to her.
Yeah, Babs.
Number 5, Texas A&M. They need to do more winning with that.
Yeah,
Number 5.
That budget.
They got a new coach. They got a different mindset shift. They're working on,
They got some stuff. Little Marcel down there.
Marcel's great.
We
saw
got
him at
some
the
nice
SEC
quarterbacks
tournament.
coming up. Last year was just all right as far as quarterbacks in the SEC. This year going to be way better.
Yep. Give me McIntyre.
Okay. All right, keep going.
No, them names, though. Like we got Legway Sellers, Arch Manning.
McIntyre.
Hey, man.
Okay.
Okay, George, let's go get him.
I've seen him play basketball a lot.
By the way, I have seen Arch Manning do a million ads for all
Ain't
of
it just
these
picked up?
companies.
Didn't he go from I
What
ain't
is
doing none?
Vuori or something? I
Yeah,
love the
it's-
brand, but
y'all
I just
over.
saw he's all over them. Yeah.
Arch Manning.
Yeah,
Boy, he waited
he's
his
like,
time.
let's go. It's my turn now. Come on. Go Arch.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, LSU.
Oh, definitely.
Better produce.
Got to produce.
Number 2,
Oh. Texas.
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Come on, Slay. You got to get on it.
Babs is killing you on this
She
one.
barbecuing me.
Do you know how much money is in Texas?
No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That's how she did it. Number 1 was
Oh,
Texas.
yeah, okay, yeah. But I was just thinking like what Ohio State spent last year.
Yeah, a lot.
What is it,
Yeah.
20 million on a... No, not 20
All the
million.
Texas players have Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
they
they need to win.
everything's bigger in Texas.
Yes, sir.
Brandon on YouTube.
Tennessee not in that top 10? That's surprising to me.
Brandon says, FYI, these NIL lists are way off as any collective. I'm just giving you the list I saw.
Yeah, Brandon.
You can do whatever you want with it.
Conversation piece, Brandon.
Tennessee's
Slay
up there.
dog.
I had
Has
to have
be
that last
close.
year.
All right, here are 10. These are not ranked, but there are 10 college basketball programs that have at least $10 million for their 2025-26 rosters.
We just had this conversation too. Like
I know
how
who number
many
one
how
is.
many programs would there be?
Because I don't have them ranked, but
Number 1 better be Arkansas.
Well,
I
we
don't
don't
have
have
them
them
ranked.
Right.
We just
but I'm
have the
telling you,
10.
I'm
the
just glad,
first team I wrote down was Arkansas.
though. That would be my guess.
Starts with an A. Alphabetically. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, there might be some
You
truth
know
to
what?
that.
Duke maybe.
Because BYU was next.
I forgot about them.
Oh,
There's a lot of money there.
It is.
oh,
It is. Spent $8 million on 2 players,
BYU, get ready.
allegedly.
Duke.
Baron, that.
I told you I always say Duke, didn't I?
How don't they
Just
like,
caught myself. Duke.
why nobody shine a
Hold on,
light on
Ross.
what Duke is able to go spend?
By the way, Ross is in there. People love his voice.
Yeah, he spoke during a commercial. I love to hear his voice.
You do?
I like his voice.
That was kind of creepy.
It was.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Let Ross say something into a microphone so Slay can be.
No, he already said it to me.
Once upon a time.
There you go. My boy. I'll go straight to sleep. Straight to sleep.
You just need him to record like 30 seconds of a
That's it.
storybook.
I'm out of here. I'll be out of here. But why does Babsy and Ross's school not get a light shine on them about how much money they are able to spend? Like we just were all up in arms with Ohio
Who,
State
Duke?
did. Hell yeah, Duke.
But what do you mean? I mean, are you surprised it's a blue blood?
See.
Hey, Ross, what do you think about Duke not getting a mint?
It's very disappointing. I'm not sure where the kid's head is at, to be honest with you.
He's right.
I was telling Slay this in
He's
between
right.
one of the breaks, because I saw he had said, I can be a top 3 pick and play like KD. Well, just go to Duke and be the number 1 pick. Like, why just settle for top 3?
Because Cameron won't allow him to be. Cameron Boozer.
There might be some truth.
Has
to
Cooper Flag declared for the draft yet?
Yes,
did
it's
it
been
today.
an awful day today.
Okay, I've been waiting on it.
that. I thought
Been waiting on it.
there was just this little piece of me that thought
There
maybe
was a little bit of hope for
because he was like, I'm still a kid, and I think he really enjoyed it all. And so I was like, there was this little piece of me that was like, maybe he's going to defy all the smart people around him that are telling him what he needs to do.
He might win less games next year than he did this year.
Absolutely.
In an 82 game season.
Oh, probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ah. So anyway.
Once upon a
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Cooper Flag is gone.
That was pretty good, Ross, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's solid.
Once upon a time.
It ain't just quite Ross.
Just
Ross is a little
not
bit
the
deeper.
same.
I got to work on it.
You got to go deeper for Ross.
Okay, I'll work on it. Arkansas, BYU, Duke, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisville, Michigan, North Carolina, St. John's, and Texas Tech.
You can look at their rosters too and tell.
Get ready with Texas Tech, y'all. They found like a young billionaire that's ready to roll.
Yeah.
Football and basketball.
Yep.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, athletics, period. Here
it's
you
about
go.
to get a little wild, man.
They're saying he's the next T. Boone Pickens.
Yeah, it's about to get a little wild. And the Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, take out the quarterback position, and it's easier to pay a basketball guy $4 million and make a bigger difference in wins
Absolutely.
and losses,
No
right?
question. No
I mean,
question.
and you could probably even include the quarterback in college.
Mhm.
I mean, the fact, though, that you have a quarterback in football in college means other people want to come play with
Right.
them. So that helps, but
Yep.
True that.
crazy.
615-737-1045 if you want in at 3HL1045 on X. And you can watch the live YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Taylor, the F&M Bank chat is open. Taylor says, very, very few animals besides humans overeat.
That's true.
Say what?
When they're done and they're not hungry, they're done.
Who?
Animals.
Yeah.
You immediately looked inside your bag.
Yeah, because they're missing out.
Since
Because I don't have to eat this, but these are good, so I'm going to continue.
Since we brought up animals a lot in this segment, I would like to plug a video for the Buck Rising show. They went to the zoo, as we mentioned last week.
Yeah.
And they interviewed all the zoo animals about the NFL draft.
I thought Bert had a run-in with a meerkat or something.
So they had a lot of animals. They went in a lot of exhibits. And
Did they let them in?
Yeah.
Oh,
and they
geez.
interviewed a lot of the animals about the Titans draft, and they
Yeah.
got some of the animals' opinions and about what they think about Cam Ward and the Titans draft overall. So if you want to see the Buck Rising show, go to the zoo and interview a bunch of animals about football. 9 a.m. tomorrow on YouTube, 104.5 The Zone YouTube. Check it out.
Okay.
It's going to. Okay.
It's going to what? No, the animals talk back and everything.
Yeah, just so it. Okay.
Slay's not feeling it.
Now I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't know. Okay.
Bert with animals has got to
This is gonna be great.
pure comedy.
This is gonna
Yeah,
be great.
Bert, Lucas, and Buck interviewed a bunch of animals.
Right. And I love
So why don't
Buck
they just
and
play it during the
Lucas,
Buck
but-
Rising show?
They're posting. Well, it's like
It's
a
like
20. It's like a
longer.
20 minute.
longer.
It's like a 20-minute YouTube video.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a 20-minute segment.
There's a lot of visual things going
Oh
on
yeah,
there.
it's a lot of visual.
They're at the zoo.
Great.
He tried to turn his mic off in time. It didn't. Oh, that was funny. Richie, I'm late to the party. So is it still the Cam Show Thursday? Yes. We'll be right back. 3HL 1045 this Sunday.
Interest rates have finally gone down. Time to call Loan Pronto if you're looking to get cash out of your home equity, refinance out of a high rate, or get some cash out to do a home improvement project. Loan Pronto can make it happen in a matter of days. Go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity and get tens or even hundreds of thousands out of your home equity. Pay off credit cards, pay off car loans. The average homeowner cuts their monthly bills by $1,000. You want info? You can start the whole process at loanpronto.com. If you own a home, there's a way out of a stressful financial situation. And Loan Pronto has multiple options that can help you get the financial freedom you need. Most homeowners get their cash in less than 2 weeks, and most don't even need an appraisal. So do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on credit cards. Wipe them out. Get a lower mortgage rate and get some money for a home improvement project. LoanPronto.com, 615-499-5780. That's LoanPronto.com at 499-5780. Loan Pronto Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
All right, everybody, hustle on over. Get in here. Get this pen and pad down. Here we go. 615-850-4415. That will be the number that you need to dial if you want inflammation out of your body. Yes, I gave you the blueprint. That is for success. Reaching out to KellumStemCellInstitute.com. They will get you right. Dr. Kellum will sit down with you, have the conversation that you probably need to have to understand what your stem cells do. They're stored for future and continued use as well, but these cells are your body's own healing cells. Harvested and redeployed based on your needs, so that means a direct hit, people. Direct hit to where you are. Say a car accident victim that was dramatically helped with facial and body scarring because of their stem cells being stored. Then you get in there and get them right. People with autism, sports injuries, athletes that return to playing sooner after the injury. That's right, cutting time a lot of times in half. You just got to go dive into it. It's up to you. 615-850-4415. That's KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
3HL 1045, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay.
Hey.
Executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
Ross in there training. Is that what he's doing?
Yep, right now he's listening to the CeeLo interview, looking for a cut for Will Bowling, because Will Bowling heard a little nugget from CeeLo.
Will Bowling in the chat right now.
William, hello, Bowling
The
Lee.
F&M
What up,
Bank chat.
bowling?
Hey, shout out to our chain gang, man, who's being hosted by the Tennessee Titans in the Green Bay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. Salute to y'all.
Send us pictures. The Titans will probably tweet them, but
Man, I was going to say my boy's name wrong. I think it's Mark.
That's one of those deals where, like, we see those guys at Buffalo Wild Wings,
Golly.
but then you take it out of there, and it's like, wait, what?
Marquez.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Mark.
Oh, hey.
Oh, Vols news. Quarterback?
What you got, Zeph?
better be good, Zeph.
The Vols have a quarterback, Joey Aguilar. Chris Lowe, a few minutes ago, going to Tennessee.
Well, if you listened to our conversation with Chris, you would have come away from that conversation thinking that would happen.
He could have broke it on our show. Come on, CeeLo.
We said they were talking. He did say they were talking.
Come on, Lowe.
I mean, he literally left our airwaves about 19 minutes.
Shame on you, Lowe.
Is that why he had to go at 5 today and not 5:30? Perhaps he knew it was
Good
coming
point.
right around 5:30.
Good point, Babsy. I wanted to ask CeeLo, like,
I mean,
have
it
you seen
sounded
him?
like it was happening when he was on our show, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So,
like
if
when
you
he mentioned
read
UCLA.
between the lines with Chris Lowe, and you will know everything before it happens. Listen to him on 3HL. All right, what do you think, Tennessee people? Thoughts?
I mean, he doesn't walk in and start. I think that there's going to be a competition. Now, he'll probably end up winning it. But, I mean, this is like a 56% passer? Is that where we are? And he threw a ton of picks last year.
So in 2023,
on a bad team.
in 14 games, he was a 63.7% passer, threw for over 3,700 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. In 2024 with App State, it was only 11 games through for 55.9, so basically 56 completion percentage, just over 3,000 yards at 3,003. He had 23 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. That was a big number.
He's thrown 24 interceptions in the last 2 years.
That led FBS.
That's a lot.
The 14 led FBS.
Whew, that's a lot. Are they, I haven't watched him closely. Are they risk-taking interceptions? Like, do we know? Have you watched?
I haven't watched yet, but I'm looking at videos now. So
I know Jason Swain last week started watching video on him and tweeted out that he was watching some tape on him. So maybe we could get Swain on and see what he saw.
There we go.
From the
Swain have
quarterback.
a good breakdown. I do think, though, watching him a little bit, App State.
Yeah.
When he in App State?
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. I like his motor skills for that offense because it's not
Like
it doesn't
with
look
Heupel?
foreign. Yeah, it doesn't look foreign to him. It's not like he's coming in and learning something totally new.
Tempo
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dominic Jones in the chat says, so UT is going to be okay with the guy scared to compete with Nico.
Yeah, I don't think that's what. I don't think that.
I don't think
it's
so
funny,
either.
but that's not what that is.
Yeah, I also take that
Also-
this was a horrible team that he was on too.
Oh, I think he's thinking in his mind, oh my gosh, what a
I just
huge
got
upgrade
saved.
for me.
Yeah.
I got saved. But also, you have to think UCLA is about to pay Nico, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that might have been a conversation of, hey, look, we're bringing this guy in. You might want to go find another place, right?
Yep.
Against
It happens very often nowadays.
Oh, they weren't going to pay two guys like that. Joey Aguilar against Clemson last year, they lost 66-20, but he was 18 of 41, 214 yards, a touchdown, no picks in that game. Woo! He threw 4 picks against Louisiana, and they lost 34-24.
Yeah, bad teams.
So the thing about Tennessee,
I mean,
though,
the picks is concerning.
with their
2 against Georgia Southern, 2 against CCU. Who's CCU?
Coastal
what was
Carolina.
let me ask y'all something. What was excuse me?
2 against Marshall,
How was
Two
Bo
against
Nix at Auburn?
East Carolina.
What do you mean?
How was he as far as ball possession, taking care of the ball?
He was good at home, bad on the road.
Yeah.
Okay. How was he at Oregon?
Great.
Better.
So I'm saying, like,
You never know.
you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe a system fits a guy.
Also, growth. I mean,
Yeah.
Bo Nix, from an offensive standpoint, was so raw as far as offensive knowledge. You know what I mean? Not the knowledge, but of actually doing it. And
Would you say that Heupel's development of quarterbacks are, you can see the development of quarterbacks, him taking a guy, like, I mean, all we have as far as the track record, when average guys as far as Hendon Hooker, Joe Milton, like, to get those guys drafted, you got to be doing something.
do we know really on Heupel though?
Do we? Do we think Joe Milton was getting drafted at Michigan? Or
Good
Hendon,
question.
Or Hendon
Hendon
was getting
Hooker
drafted
was
at Virginia Tech?
much different with Heupel than he was at Virginia Tech.
He also went through a whole lot of stuff.
A whole lot.
Also, Joey Aguilar now gets a solidified run game with Tennessee. I know everybody sees the high-flying offense, but they were a run-first team. App State wasn't really like that.
That's what makes it work, man.
So maybe that could help with the interceptions. Doesn't have to do as much because he's got a run game and an offensive line in front of him.
3HL powered by
Good point,
Ferguson
Zeffy Zeff.
Home. Discover the Mount Juliet Showroom, 401 South Mount Juliet Road. That's in Providence Marketplace. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. FergusonHome.com. Coming up tomorrow. Zach will join us at 3 o'clock, talk about his draft guide. And then Keith Bullock in studio from 4 until whenever he decides he's tired of us. We appreciate you guys including us in your day and in your lives. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Hope you have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be unless you were getting a shout out to all the people out there that were grilling with real charcoal.
I'm a swindler, not a swinger. Babs today. Thanks, Johnny the Poet.